right, let's go. Good morning, everybody. Rock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, and, of course, the Seattle Sports app, not to mention all the podcast platforms out there. And, yes, 97.3, Cairo's HD2 signal. If you want to find us that way, that's a nice way to do it as well. Man, we are in, full go mode on, a million different subjects today. Between the Mariners and some of their strengths and problems, we've got day before the draft, Kraken moves yesterday. How do we dig into all this kind of at once? I'll start here. I'll start by answering some questions because as I've mentioned before, I do like when we get text messages when we're not on the air. I think that's a fun time for us to get text messages. I will admit it's sometimes hard to get to all of the ones that come through when we're on the air. And I appreciate everybody who texts in during the 4 hours between 6 and 10. But, there's a lot. The volume can be intense, especially while I'm, hosting the show and talking to Brock and thinking about the clock and, trying to wake Lyle up, all the things that you got to do over the course of a show. All of those things make it challenging at times to check the text every second. So I like in the 5 minutes or so that I sit here at this desk before the show starts, kind of seeing what you guys have sent in overnight. So I thought I would start today with a couple of those because they lead into some of the topics of the day. 360. This one's just from a few minutes ago, from 5:45. Hey guys, I've always been curious. What is your pre-show routine? What are you all doing right now, 15 minutes before the show? Great question. We're very quiet. It's a very quiet room.
Sitting in silence.
Yeah, Maura and Lyle and I basically sit in as close to silence as we can get. Lyle puts headphones on, stares at his phone, and I'm assuming kind of just zones out. I don't know exactly what he's doing. I think he's trying to wake himself up, and I think he kind of zones out. Maura and I usually have a good 5 to 7 minute conversation where we put all of the sound together on the sound sheet. And then I think after that, Maura gets quiet while she's labeling all that.
That's correct.
Because she and I don't talk for the next 5 or 7 minutes before the show. That's sort of the end of all communication. So all of that is very, very quiet. And then
every now and then we're chatty. You can just tell that people are more awake that day.
Yeah, and that's a rarity.
It's
maybe
rare,
once a week, and I don't know how that happens. And then usually with a minute or so before the show, I try to wake myself up, doing some clapping like Brock does, and maybe I'll tell Lyle more that we should have a great show today. And then we do. So that's it. There you go. That's a pre-show routine. Is that as exciting as you thought it was going to be? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see. Salk.
I mean, you do have a routine of you usually have already gotten your tea before I get here.
That's true. Yeah, I come in early. I get a little tea, usually Earl Grey, sometimes a lemon tea. And then with just a little dab of milk or whatever they have in there. And then I'll go back for more at some point here in the next half hour to try to stem the hunger until I eat after the show. Yep, that helps with that. Let's see what else we got from the people overnight. This one's from the middle of the night. Salk, honest question. I've been listening to the show for a couple of years now. I've learned you're not a fan of college football or the NBA. And as somebody who loves both, I was just wondering why you don't like those two sports and why you seem to have such disdain for them. All right, good question. First of all, anything I don't like, I have disdain for. That's just the way I am. Second of all, college football. I grew up in the Northeast, just not really a thing there. And the honest truth is I'd like to have some semblance of a life. And that means that I'm not working 7 straight days every weekend during football season. So the NFL is king. The NFL's a love. I'm watching the NFL, and college just has to take a back seat for me. I also I think it's a messy sport. Sorry. I just think it's messy. I think recruiting is dumb. I don't like the idea of following what high school kids are up to. And I think the quality of play is not great. So especially at the quarterback position, put all those things together and then, kind of combine them with the fact that the whole, who do we talk about? The Huskies and the Cougs. And every time you talk about one, the other gets mad. Just kind of a loss. People like the NFL. So we spend a lot more time talking about that. As for the NBA, unfortunately, I just think the game has gone to crap. It's just not fun anymore. I loved it as a kid. Might have been my favorite sport. Shaq was sort of the end of my love for the NBA. And after that, I'm not interested in watching a bunch of guys shoot threes. Sorry, that's just not fun. I'm out. 602, listening to the Forsland interview in the podcast while on a sales trip. I love this interview. He is refreshingly blunt, honest, but still makes you feel good. Would love to hear more in-depth hockey conversation from you guys. Well done. All right, first of all, yes, Forsland was A+ yesterday, wasn't he? Awesome guest. If you missed it, go find it on the podcast, 9:30 yesterday. A+ guest work by John yesterday. The fact is, yeah, he is blunt and honest and makes you feel good is 100% true. And as for doing more in-depth hockey conversation, guys, we're a reflection of the interest of the town. If the town gets more interested in hockey, believe me, as a passionate hockey fan since my youth, I will be happy to talk more about it. But I can't drum up interest in something that is watching its season ticket base depart, that doesn't have the ratings on television. I can't get people. That's not my job. I'm not a cheerleader for it. I'm excited about it, but I'm not going to force it on you guys, at least not that often. By the way, still pretty confused about what the Kraken are doing, and listening to the Greg Wyshynski interview yesterday with Bump and Stacey didn't help, as he's like, yeah, I don't get it. I'm going to assume that Ron Francis is now just basically going to be in like a, honorary title as team president, and that's just to kind of keep the Hall of Famer around. But if you want to do something
His
new,
description yesterday was that he's going to be working a lot more closely with their prospects and figuring out where they're at, figuring out guys they can move on from, guys they can bring in. And Forsland did say it's coming to a point where they're going to have to make a decision on a lot of these guys 5 years in.
Okay, but just if you're gonna let the next guy do his thing, then move John out, then move Ron Francis out rather. I don't know. It feels like a really messy way to get it done for me. But you know what? Maybe if he's going to be there but out of the way and everybody knows how this is really working, maybe if it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing, all right, I guess I can handle that. The last thing that has been sort of jumping out to me this morning, in addition to my confusion about the Kraken, is just still reading through some of the draft stuff, and just pretty amazing how many people are still on the wide receiver side of what the Seahawks quote unquote need and should do in the draft. And I do think it's funny, like if you listen to this show every day, I think you probably have the view that would be a really bad idea. Or at least that we do. I mean, like, we've just ripped it up and down. And DJ hasn't really gone much in that direction. And talked to, Klatt yesterday. He didn't really go in that direction. Like, I think I've made it very clear that it's, I'd vomit. And I don't think Brock has had at any point any real sense that the Seahawks should go with a wide receiver at number 18, maybe in the second round. And I'm with that. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying that the position is worthless, just that you haven't earned the right to go there in the draft. And yet, I feel like if you listen more to Bump and Stacey, you get kind of a different view on that. And here is Jordan Reed on with them yesterday.
Either McMillan or Golden are there for them to take. I definitely think those could be a possibility just because Jackson Smith and Jigba had the breakout season. You bring over Cooper Kupp this season, but they still need that other outside guy, in my opinion. And I believe both of those guys can play on the outside. You already have your slot player in JSN. So getting Sam Darnold some more weapons, I definitely think that would help them.
Yeah, no.
Well, to be fair, when I listen to Bubba and Stacey, I feel like they're pretty on board with you guys. I think that's just another national guest.
Yeah, no, I think it's more been their guests. I think you're right about that. I didn't mean to suggest they feel that way, but it just feels like more of the guests they've had. I meant it more as a happenstance thing than a argumentative thing. But like Jordan Reed, and they've had, I think, Chad Reuter on and some of the other folks where it's just like.
Well, it's the national media, it seems like. I mean, because even Daniel Jeremiah on Mina's podcast the other day picked a.
Well, and Mina's kind of on that tip as well. Like, I don't know. I don't want to call it a lazy narrative because obviously that phrase kind of got under my skin this week. But it does feel not lazy, but just, what do the kids say? Basic? It's kind of basic. It's just basic, like, oh, well, they lost DK. That's the only thing I know about the Seahawks, so they've got to go get a wide receiver. And I don't think that's the right way to approach this. If you know one thing about the Seahawks that's problematic, you should know that their offensive line has not been good enough. Now, I'm not saying you got to go offensive line. In fact, most of my preference has been for them to start off this draft on the defensive side of the ball with an attempt to become an elite defense. Elite defense. God, I was looking at, I think it was Chris Collinsworth draft this morning. He had Jalon Walker slipping all the way to 17. If he gets to 17, you should trade up. Because I don't want to see Shamar Stewart here instead of Jalon Walker by one pick. By the way, that's what he had. Shamar Stewart at 18 after Jalon Walker at 17. Like, no, just go get the guy who's better. Go get the guy who with star potential. But I would like to see them go defense and then offensive line, just based on kind of positional value. But you cannot leave the second round of this draft without getting at least one offensive lineman, if not two. That to me is like it's a must. It's a have to. And you've put yourself in that position with some of the things you haven't done up until now. Sorry, it'd be fun to go get a wide receiver. That sounds fun. I like wide receivers. They're fun. That'd be great. Be cool to draft a tight end like Joel Klatt suggested. That'd be fun. Corners are great. They're important. Safety. Oh, my God. There's some real legit game-changing safeties at 18. But you haven't earned the right to do that because you've got such a massive gaping hole on your offensive line that you've got to get a couple offensive linemen in the first two rounds of this draft. And defense, the front seven is always just so important that I'm in. But you got to come away with a couple offensive linemen. Let's come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, including the Mariners' continued problems in Boston. It's next on Brock and Salk.
The Cal Raleigh Show.
Belted way out of here to right field. Holy smokes.
Every Thursday with Shannon Dreyer on Wyman and Bob.
Seattle has been nothing but good to me. I would love nothing more to play for one team my whole career.
Listen live on the Seattle Sports app or find the video on YouTube.
Cal Raleigh with a walk-off home run.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
47,000 fans are going crazy.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Rhine Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We're also excited to welcome another allergy surgeon and ear surgeon to our practice. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
This year, tee it up at home with Synthetic Turf Northwest. Dial in your yard and your short game is sure to follow. Synthetic Turf Northwest is your synthetic grass expert. Install a custom backyard putting green or just a mud and mow-free lawn the neighbors will envy. They do it all. Residential, commercial, and turf supply. With locations in Woodinville and soon Fife. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, draft day tomorrow, and the Seahawks stand in as good a position as anybody does in this one. The word on this draft is that it's best for starters, not stars, right? So seems like an ideal year to have 5 of the top, 50 some odd picks top 5 of the first 90 some odd picks. And
92, I believe.
Yeah, we don't need to get into details. This is only need to know. Joel Klatt confirms all of it.
They're in a great position in this draft, and I think you guys would agree with this. There's only 2 teams with more picks. I think it's like Baltimore and I think, San Francisco? Each have 11 selection. I think Seattle has 10 selection, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And a lot of those are in those roster building rounds, 2 through 4, maybe even extended to 5. You get those guys. And I will say, and I'm sure if you've had DJ on, which I'm sure you have, this is a starter draft. It might not be a star draft, but it's a starter draft.
Okay, well, good. The Seahawks have an opportunity to get some starters. Obviously, we've had DJ on a lot, and we're going to have him on today. And that's going to be at 8 o'clock. Just a little programming note. DJ at 8 today. We got to bump the clocks around a little bit. Sorry for not telling you guys that. Maura, Lyle, that's my bad. I had it on my mind. But during our half hour of solitude and quiet this morning, I forgot to mention it to you. DJ's going to be at 8 today rather than 8:30 just because of some stuff he's got to do in Green Bay. Anyway, Seahawks held their first workout of the season. Seemed like a lot of folks were there. Spoon and Reek and Love and Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed, Boy Mafe, all the wide receivers, the offensive line, the running backs, Barnard. Everybody, it seemed like, was there. And some new faces. Darnold, Kupp, DeMarcus Lawrence, Drew Lock, all there, which is certainly a good sign for them heading into the year.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Yeah, not a great start for the Mariners in Boston. They get behind early, not able to overcome it. Bryce Miller just not particularly sharp at all. Struck out 4, but he walked 4, gave up 4, went just 4 2/3 innings. Afterwards, he was blaming himself.
Frustrating one. I think it's another one of the days, like,
I didn't feel like they beat me today. I think I beat myself. Anytime you 3 walks in the 5th inning, like I'm trying to get deep into the game. I had a lot of traffic on the bases and wiggled out of a few of them, but at the end of the day, I'm walking too many guys, and that's what's setting up the damage. So
it's 100% true. Offense did have its moments. Polanco had a home run early, big 2-run single for J.P. Crawford, who certainly picked it up here in the last couple weeks, but not able to generate enough. They lose 8-3. They have just been a complete mess, specifically in Boston. The numbers over the last, 10 years, Lyle? We'll read them to you later. They're disgusting. You almost don't want to hear them. Third straight time, though, the Mariners have dropped the opening game of a series. They've won the last 2 series, so gonna have to do a little work to keep that going. You got Emerson Hancock today against the lefty Sean Newcomb, and then tomorrow the finale, Brian Wu and Garrett Crochet.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, maybe a little bit non-traditional. The Kraken have made their front office shakeup official, and they took the time to explain it yesterday. Ron Francis will indeed be the president of hockey operations, which will see him focus on being, quote, the main link between ownership, the senior executive group, the business, and the team. Okay, Jason Botterill promoted to be the new GM. According to Francis, though, Botterill will have the final say on hockey decisions.
I feel strongly that if we're asking Jason to step into the GM chair and manage all those responsibilities, that he has to have final say in decisions. We will have discussions. I will give him my opinion. I know it won't be 100% in agreement all the time, but we will have those discussions. But at the end of the day, he will make the decision, the final call in those regards. There's so much to do with the job, from players and agents and managing your staff and stuff. And this will free me up in some regards to do other specialized things where I can work closely with our young prospects.
It's an interesting mix. I do wonder whether Francis was truly the one who felt strongly that Botterill have final say. Generally, people like staying in charge, but hey, whatever. It almost sounds like he's really going to be a special assistant, doesn't it? Like a special assistant in charge of some specific projects and things like that. But he's Ron Francis. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest hockey players of all time. So you keep him around, you give him the president title, and I don't know. Maybe that's the direction they're going. It's still confusing. Greg Wyshynski, I think, nailed it.
And talking to some people this morning about the Seattle move, I'm in agreement with the prevailing sentiment, which is, if you're not happy with the direction of the franchise, then why are you handing the reins to somebody while keeping the person who directed the franchise above him? Mm-hmm. And that's really the conundrum right now,
Yeah, I'd say I agree with all of that. That's everything you need to know, 1:15 every hour. This whole conversation we had, maybe I'll save it for 7. Yeah, let's save this for 7. The conversation we had about the Mariners at home and on the road is like, I don't know. When we talked about it a week or so ago, I felt like I was being, I don't know, maybe a little, like, I'm not even sure what the right word is. Like, yeah, hey, I'm pointing this out, but I don't know if I really believe it. A week later, I'm starting to believe it more and more. Just the home road splits. I'm going to read you some of these numbers. I'm going to blow you away. We'll do that at 7. But up next, stick around. Jeff Passan had a lot to say yesterday, including about as big a compliment as you would ever want to hear for one of the best players on this Mariner team. Stick around. You'll hear it next on Brock and Salk.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day. With General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Look, this is about Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and that is where luxury awaits. It is also where comfort meets elegance. It's where you can have the world-class restaurants and dining, entertainment. Entertainment? Did I say entertainment? Oh, yeah. I mean it, too, because the Outdoor Summer Concert Series is back with Hanson and Austin Jenks and Melanie Fiona and POD all this summer overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley. Yeah, you can get tickets at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Right now, have ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay zero down with zero interest and zero payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
What do you get when you assemble 400 new and used RVs with over 1,000 floor plan options, plus manufactured homes on 20 acres? You get the best chance to save all year. The Puyallup RV Show, May 1st through 4th. Free parking. Get tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get up to $5,000 in local utility rebates, and Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Plus, Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. G here, join me, Safeway and Albertsons, and donate your time and skills to support local food banks and host food drives or fundraisers. You can win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your favorite hunger relief agency. Visit Albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. Find volunteer opportunities and log your hours. A million hours will help create food secure communities. Visit Albertsons.com/volunteer.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tuning into your favorite team's game or actually going to the stadium is better when you feel at your best. If something's not quite right, reduce tension and pain and increase flexibility with expert-assisted stretching at Stretch Lab. Each session is customized to your body's needs with your unique goals in mind. Visit your local Stretch Lab today or go to stretchlab.com to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, get an additional $10 off with code FAN10. That's code FAN10 at stretchlab.com.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, let's get right into it so that we have enough time with Jeff Passan of ESPN, who joins us for our weekly baseball chat. Good morning, Jeffrey.
Michael, Brock, how are you, gentlemen?
Let's start with Cal. What are we seeing with Cal? A hot streak or a legitimate another jump in who he is as a player?
I don't know that the two are mutually exclusive. I think it could be a little bit of both. What we're seeing, though, is the guy who the Mariners gave $100 million guaranteed to. And what Cal Raleigh has always done well is two things: hit home runs and be a leader. And that's not discounting his defense. I think that sort of folds into the leadership when you're at the catcher position. But to know that you have a guy who's a legitimate power source from both sides of the plate and has just this ability to clutch up at the right time, there are very few players who are more valuable in all of Major League Baseball than Cal Raleigh is to the Seattle Mariners. And seeing his development and knowing that there is perhaps that extra gear is even more exciting, because all of a sudden, boys, looks like the Mariners can hit a little. Like, that to me has been the part of these last couple of weeks that have been really interesting, that not only are we seeing the home runs, but they're complementing it with stolen bases and with just good baseball. Like, it's a really balanced offense right now, and it's wonderful to see.
So add a little context to Cal for us. Where is Cal in the pantheon of the best catchers in baseball right now?
I think he's at the top of the list, right? I mean, just at this point, I'm not sure who else is there. Like, William Contreras is a good catcher, but defensively and offensively this season, he's not on Cal Raleigh's level. Adley Rutschman is a good catcher. Offensive, like, it's not even close at this point. And we got to acknowledge also that Cal Raleigh plays a lot. Like, you just don't see catchers out there every day like him. And so it's a weak position at this point. The only argument I think that you could make would be Will Smith, but I feel like Cal Raleigh is so much better defensively than Will Smith is. That's the separator. And so I think you're looking at the best catcher in Major League Baseball right now.
Who comes to mind, Jeff, of players in your life experience that have gotten paid and it frees them up to take that next step? Do you think that's real, or do you think that's just maybe a perception from the outside, or is there an anecdote or two of players where you're like, wow, they got their bag, they got that guaranteed generational money, and it just freed them up to do even more?
I think it is unquestionably real, Brock, but I don't know that it's applicable to Cal Raleigh. I think he has such strong constitution and belief in himself. This is a guy who did it in youth ball and did it in high school and did it in college and did it in the minor leagues and is now doing it in Major League Baseball. That some of those concerns or worries that lead players to taking extensions so it can free them up. Jose Ramirez is an example that comes to mind, a guy who took 2 under-market long-term deals and did so because he just didn't want the notion of contract weighing on his mind at all. And he wanted that security. And, the first contract, he got enough money to last his family for the rest of his life and their life and their kid's life. And after that, the second deal that he got, it was truly like generational wealth. Like, anytime you get into the 9-figure range, it's a ridiculous amount of money, and you never have to worry about it again. Even if you do go out and spend frivolously and stupidly, it doesn't matter. You have so much money that there's almost no way that you can go and spend it. With Cal Raleigh, though, I don't think that was I don't think that was like the raison d'etre here. I think that he wanted to be a Seattle Mariner. I think he sees something in this organization and in this team that's worth sticking around for and seeing through the end. And man, just to know that you have this anchor that bridges the offensive side and the pitching side, and somebody who is really well liked and really well respected, to have him there, the closest facsimile I can think of is Salvador Perez in Kansas City. And they're similar players, actually. You know, I think Cal is probably better than Salvi ever was defensively, and this is a guy who's won multiple Gold Gloves, but they are low on base, not great batting average, big power guys who command respect in a room and on the field. And having seen what Salvador Perez has done in his career, going to the World Series in 2014, winning it in 2015, getting the Royals back to the playoffs last season, it's a security blanket that the Mariners have now, knowing that Cal Raleigh is going to be around for the prime of his career.
It's a heck of a comp, and that should be an honor for anybody to be comped to Salvi Perez. Seriously, I mean that's a really nice compliment for Cal Raleigh. You said got him back to the playoffs last year.
I think it's I'm sorry to interrupt. No. I hadn't thought of it before. This was on the fly. Do you think it's appropriate?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just I thought it was really nice. That was all. I was being sincere.
Well, and it's Salvi that hit.
It's rare, but I was being sincere.
48 bombs, right?
Well, it was. I was also going to use it as a little bit of a transition because while he was a big part of them getting back to the playoffs last year, I think we would all say Bobby Witt Jr. was an even bigger part. He's the real big star on that team, and while Cal is kind of turning into a Salvi Perez-like figure, the Julio Bobby Witt Jr. thing is maybe not looking as positive for the Mariners. Where are we at right now with another slow start from Julio?
I'm just wondering when we're going to see the real Julio, or maybe better put, are we seeing?
Well, that's the question
Julio?
We're getting from fans. Like I'm getting that text a lot. Hey, Mike, stop talking about the real Julio. This is the real Julio. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't think this is the real Julio, but I'm not sure at this point that we're going to see Bobby Witt level performance either. It's there, like we see flashes of it, but I think what we've learned through Julio Rodriguez is that the hardest thing to do in Major League Baseball is be consistently great. Flashes of greatness are wonderful, and they will win you games, and that matters, guys. Like that's a real thing. And a real differentiator when you have just the physical capabilities of taking over a game and carrying a team on your back for a game here, a game there. What Bobby Witt Jr. does, though, is he carries the team every damn day. Like he really does. It's marvelous to see. And I don't know how Julio finds that consistency. It's been too much of this for too long to ignore. And yet I don't think that it's an impediment like it has been in past years. I don't know that the Mariners need Julio Rodriguez long term to be a Hall of Fame caliber player in order to win. It would facilitate that winning a lot more easily, but I don't know that it's a necessity. I think that there's enough here right now.
A season ago, we said, as Julio goes, the Mariners goes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the case. Maybe that's somewhat healthy for both the organization and maybe even for Julio in the years to come, is it not?
Yeah, he's just going to keep pressing, though, because in his mind, he should be the star, right? Like, all the questions that we're asking, both rhetorically and questions to be answered, he's asking himself too. And he's beating himself up more about this than any of us ever could. And I'm not saying that to give him a pass on it. No, sorry, it's almost May. You shouldn't be hitting under 200. You can't have a slugging percentage below 50, let alone below 400 right now. You're too talented for that. And I look at some of the numbers, like I look at his expected weighted on base, and it's 50 points higher than his weighted on base right now. And so that portends well, that suggests that the batted ball data is still decent, but at some point, like, we got to see it. And at some point he's got to figure it out, or at that point, if he's just going to be a good defensive center fielder who occasionally comes through for you, that's a lot of money to spend on that. But I still look at the Julio contract, and I'm not like that was an egregious mistake for the Mariners. I think at the time, from what we saw, it was absolutely warranted. And I am not by any means giving up on Julio Rodriguez becoming that perennial all-star. It's just at this point, like, need to see more.
It's funny. You could almost make the case that if Julio and Cal switch contracts, you would feel maybe a little bit better about the way the team was built. I don't know whether I fully agree, though. I think if Julio isn't a great player, it's going to be really hard for this team to really compete. That doesn't mean they can't make the playoffs. Obviously, in the last, I think that he's still the most. I don't think they have enough talent without him to be a real legitimate World Series competitor. Like, he's the thing that gets them to that point. We talk about the rotation.
I disagree. I think. I was just going to say, I think the pitching is the thing that gets them to that point.
Here's the problem I'm having, and we went through this a little bit last week. The pitching is probably not as good as it looks as soon as you get away from T-Mobile Park. Their ERA jumps by a run. Like, all their numbers get a whole lot worse, just like all the batting numbers get a whole lot better. I think that the offense probably a little better than we think. I think the pitching's probably not quite as great as we think. But regardless, without Julio without a guy like Julio, even just to pair with Cal Raleigh, it's really hard for me to see how you get to the top.
I think you get there because, have you seen the American League, Mike?
Yeah, it's not great. That's for sure. Clearly it's not great.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to, like, if the Mariners are in the National League right now, they're not as good as the Mets. They're not as good as the Phillies. They're probably not as good as the Cubs. I'd say they're sort of on par with the Brewers. They're not as good as the Padres. They're not as good as the Dodgers. They're not as good as the Diamondbacks. And the way that the Giants are playing, they're not as good as them either. In the American League, though, I could look at the Yankees and absolutely see the Mariners winning a series against them. I could look at the Red Sox and absolutely see the Mariners winning a series against them, against Detroit, against Cleveland, against Texas. Like, I think they are – you can make the argument that the Mariners right now could be the best team in the American League, which is wild considering where we are a couple weeks ago. But
I think
at the
that's
same time,
sort of the point. It's just the consistency level without someone like Julio to really carry you. Kind of hard for me to see them doing that all year without their best player being their best player.
Yes, and as great as Dylan Moore has been, I don't expect him to slug 600 this year. But I look at other players offensively. I think there's more still there with Randy Arozarena. I think that we've seen what Jorge Polanco can be when he's healthy. To me, it's less getting Julio to where he can be, which would be really nice, and more about those guys who are not playing well right now doing something.
So if we are trying to narrow this down, and it's really difficult to do, and Jeffrey, I'm prisoner to life experience. I'm prisoner to my other sport where, quarterbacking is so much about your ability to process. I'm prisoner from going from a really smart Matt Hasselbeck and John Kidna and Trent Dilfer to seeing this supercomputer of processing, maybe the greatest to ever do it in the game, and Peyton Manning, and being mesmerized at his ability take all this information and see it in real time and process it, because he didn't have like the greatest physical tools. Julio's got the physical tools. If he's getting drafted Thursday night in Green Bay, there's not many in his sport that are 6'4", 230, glide, run, power, strength, all of it. It's all off the chart. It's waterfront location in real estate. So then you ask, okay, What is it? What is it in that box that leads to these great inconsistencies, these massive mountaintops, and then these pretty darn low valleys? Like, if you were to try to pinpoint what it is in the batter's box, what would Jeffrey Passan say it is?
If I could answer that question, Brock, I would be a rich man. and I say that because there are some things that I just don't know because of lack of information. Like when I'm doing an analysis on a player, I try to combine, okay, what are the numbers telling me? And then to understand, okay, what's the process in order to get that? How are you going about things? And I think Julio Rodriguez over the last couple of years has been victimized by constantly changing processes, because when you're not performing the way that you want to, what do? You change things, right? And when that doesn't work, you change it, and then you keep changing it. And so I think it's just a matter of him getting on a heater at some point and trying to replicate what he's done. And easy to say, really difficult to do. So I wish I could tell you this is what his problem is and this is how to fix it. I don't know the answer to that, though.
So I say processing, and that's just a gross opinion of mine. I hear tinkering. That might be the more tangible, rather than, hey, eliminate the processing, because that brings so many other factors that you just don't know. But the tinkering, and we've seen the tinkering, right? We've seen it in his stance, we've seen it in his swing, we've seen it in his hands, we've seen it and kind of heard through the process. We've seen that tinkering. Do the other great stars in the game, you mentioned Bobby, what Salk did earlier, do the other great stars in the game tinker?
All the freaking time. All the time.
So again, it just makes it a maddening circle to try to figure it out.
Yeah, because baseball is a game of failure, and when you start failing, you either learn from those failures and improve, or you're Sideshow Bob who just keeps stepping on rakes. And the last couple of years have felt like a big old rake fest for Julio, and not in the good baseball way. I will say this, though, and I think that this is very promising. One of the big questions we had about Julio as he was, taking his early star turn is, how is his plate discipline going to age? Is he going to be the guy who's just always a free swinger and, is never getting on base via walk? Or is he going to be someone who can learn to take pitches and lay off the bad stuff and hunt the good stuff? It's only 100 plate appearances into the season, guys. So small enough sample where I'm not going to say that this has changed. But Julio's career walk rate going into this year, I believe, was 6.7 or 6.8%. This year it's 12. So even amid the frustrations with the bat right now, he is doing things that are helping the Mariners win. He is scoring a lot of runs. And I think that, when you have a guy at the top of the lineup, he's doing part of his job right now. It's not everything that we want. It's not everything that we expect. There are failures in there that can be very frustrating. But at least we have seen improvement in that area. And if the bat comes around and Julio's still walking at 12%, that's an MVP candidate right there.
Did you happen to I don't know whether you ever watch games on Apple TV, but they had just an amazing Julio stat on Friday night that in his first 3 years of WAR for a center fielder, he's third all time behind Mike Trout and Joe DiMaggio. Number 4 was Junior.
That says everything you need to know about
right?
WAR.
I mean, like, even when he's about WAR or about Julio?
About WAR.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I mean, a little bit, yeah.
You're not a fan of WAR?
Liars, what's Brock's expression?
Figures don't lie, liars figure.
Yeah, you can always manipulate
I think,
things.
Brock, to answer your question, I think WAR as a concept is wonderful. I appreciate the ability to compare players across generations and to have a number that says, hey, look at these guys, look at what they do, and this guy was better than this guy, or this guy is in the same vicinity as that guy. At the same time, if you're telling me Julio Rodriguez was better over those first few years of his career than Ken Griffey Jr., I'll just call you a liar.
Well, I don't think anyone's saying that. I don't think you need to be saying that to point out, though.
Mike,
that
War is literally saying that.
Well, War is. I'm not. I'm saying that it's a reminder that just sort of what you just said. I was backing up your point that even when Julio even when Julio is not the best, he still does a lot of really productive things to help a team, even if a lot of them are defensive related. Quick question. Where are you on guys who are succeeding because they're being put into one position to succeed, either lefty, righty, or whatever, being given more opportunity because of that? Do you think they generally, after that, get exposed? Or do you think that they earn it and you've got to give them more of an opportunity afterwards?
As a baseball fan and somebody who grew up in the era before, like, true platoons, I don't like it. I want to see a hitter who can hit right-handers and left-handers. I want to see a pitcher who can get right-handers and left-handers both out. That being said, I get it. If there's somebody who is exceptional at doing something, then why expose them to the part that they're not exceptional at when somebody else might be? All you're trying to do when you're on the baseball field is cobble together a win. So putting your players into the positions where they are likeliest to succeed is great. Now, if you have a guy like, let's use Jock Peterson, for example, somebody
how about Dylan Moore?
Let's
use, for instance, Dylan Moore.
Yeah. I mean, Dylan Moore, what he's doing so far this year has been awesome. And if he continues it, he is going to get paid this winter. Because what I like about Dylan Moore is that he embraces versatility. He is perfectly happy playing anywhere on the diamond as long as he is playing. And for a team like the Mariners that do embrace the platoon efforts quite often, you need somebody like Dylan Moore. Like he's almost so valuable that he takes the position of multiple guys, right? That you can put Dylan Moore in at second and at short and at third and in the outfield, and he's going to be capable there. He's not going to win a Gold Glove by any means, but he's going to be solid enough wherever you put him. And the way that they have deployed him offensively this year, I think it's just really smart. And let's look at the other organizations, guys. Let's look at the most successful organizations in baseball. The Dodgers, they absolutely do this. Do it regularly and get guys to buy in. The Rays, another team that does this regularly and gets guys to buy in. And I understand that Dylan Moore is perfectly okay against right-handed pitching, but if there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound, Dylan Moore should be in the lineup and should be high in the lineup.
Yeah, this was more of a debate about your friend John Morosi saying he should be hitting leadoff no matter what. We were pointing out that there was there was an 1,100-point OPS difference between his stats against righties and lefties. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, Jeff.
See you, boys.
All right, there you go. Jeff Passan every Tuesday at 8:30, replay Wednesday morning at 6:30 as well. We got a ton of draft coverage to come today. Daniel Jeremiah, of course, at 8 o'clock, about an hour from now. But up next, I really am just astounded. The number, when I first looked this up, I thought it was like kind of like a little bit of a joke. But now looking at it, it's becoming like a major factor in the way I view the world. It's next on Brock and Salk.
the 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
All right, guys, it's Mike Salk here for Crawl Pros. And look, I know it's beautiful out today, but we all know how much rain and water you can get this time of year in this town. And when it all comes, oh man, that groundwater can get into your crawl space. If it does, problems, right? Structural damage, toxic mold, things that you don't want to deal with at all. Well, Crawl Pros will keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump, drainage, reroute that water back out and away from your home, take care of any mold that's been created. They'll even address any plumbing issues that you might have right there in your crawl space. They'll come out, do a free corner-to-corner inspection, just like they did at my house, and then they'll solve the problem. That's what's so great about them. They give you a little book. They show you what they're going to do. You say yes, and then they do it. Pretty simple. So if you're worried about water damage or mold or insulation issues, critters, anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com to schedule that free inspection. That's crawlpros.com.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Hi, John Curley here. It's a great time to upgrade with incredible savings on ultra-efficient heat pumps. Take advantage of local utility rebates up to $5,000 off on heat pumps. And Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Get both heating and cooling with an ultra-efficient heat pump in one unit. Plus, enjoy 18 months, same as cash financing. Call Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, good morning, Brock. How are we? Nice to have you next to me today.
I'm doing great.
What's with that big black square between us? Oh, well, that's just me.
Yeah, give me a second.
Whoa, Maura. There's a big black square.
It's supposed to automatically figure out what mics you guys are on, but it's obviously not doing that. So give me a second here.
It feels like we're separated by...
You know what's amazing about Stacy? She got great ears. Like these headphones
very
are
low.
Oh, way down.
Same with Bob.
Yeah.
Sorry. My need for volume is creeping up towards Bob's, so I'm probably not in a spot to keep making fun of him. Brock, was it a week or so ago that I was like, hey, I got kind of like a weird thought about the Mariners, and maybe we're thinking about their offense a little, maybe we're not giving them enough credit because of the home road splits. Maybe we're overrating the pitching staff a little bit because of the home roads, but I kind of mealy-mouthed tiptoed into it, right? I didn't, dive in head first.
Yeah, you kind of soft-played
Dude,
it.
the numbers today for this, and I'm not going to change all the numbers I gave from last year, obviously, because those haven't changed. The numbers for this year are insane. Have you looked at their home road splits?
No.
It's crazy.
No.
The Mariners, in terms of ERA, this is their pitching staff. What do you think they are at home? Rank in Major League Baseball?
Inside the top 10.
They're 10.
Yeah.
With a straight-up 3 ERA.
Yep.
3 even. 10th. What do you think they are on the road?
Ooh, not good.
24th.
No.
They are 24th in ERA
That's
on the
starters,
road.
or that's everybody?
That's everybody. With a 5.12 ERA.
Yeah.
They're giving up more than 5 earned runs per game on the road.
Yep.
That's crazy. But it is somewhat balanced out by their offense. So the offense at home is 21st in runs.
Mm-hmm.
They've scored 47 runs.
Mm-hmm.
They're 10th in runs scored on the road with 54, despite only playing 10 games on the road.
I mean, we got a Logan Walter thing going on here.
Well, let me give you a little bit more context to how they're hitting on the road versus at home. In terms of runs per game, which starts to even out some of the extra, they haven't played that many games on the road yet.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of runs per game, they are averaging on the road 5.4 runs per game. I did that math in my head. It's 54 divided by 10.
Wow, well
I know. I did a little radio math, and I'm quite proud of it.
It's like you have a reunion coming up.
It's just like that.
Just getting so smart.
If you were to put that into Major League Baseball averages, not everybody on the road, but just Major League Baseball in general, they would be 4th.
Yep.
They would have the 4th best offense in the league. At home, that same runs per game is 3.6, nearly 2 runs fewer per game at home.
Yep.
It would be the 25th best offense. But if you're still not convinced, if you say, hey, runs scored whatever, 2 years ago, even when they were the worst offense ever, they scored, 10 or 11th in runs, so I don't really believe runs. Okay, fine. You want OPS?
Sure.
On base plus slugging.
Sure.
What is Lyle, I told you couldn't look this up, so I'll have you guess. What is the Mariners' OPS, and where does it rank at home?
Is this split going to be more or less than Dylan Moore's lefty-righty split?
It's not as big as the Dylan Moore lefty-righty split.
Okay, good.
What is their OPS, and what does it rank at home?
I'm going to guess it ranks 23rd.
That'd be nice.
Okay, 28th.
There we go. 28th. There are 2 teams worse with a 623 OPS at home in 13 games. 623. That's a really tough number. What is the Mariners' OPS on the road, and where does it rank?
It's got to be above 800.
It is above 800.
Yeah.
So does it rank Fourth?
Higher.
Second?
There it is. The Mariners have an 813 OPS on the road.
Who's ahead of them?
Second. Jeez, I don't know.
Come on,
man.
Lyle. Not too much, Lyle.
Come
Not too
on, I don't
much.
have that
You're
in
playing
front of me
along well.
anymore. Jeez.
Lyle is going to catch footballs today.
Who does
If
that?
you're going to dive into stats, you have to expect Lyle to want more.
The Cubs have an 833 OPS on the road.
So we're second on the road in OPS.
Isn't that kind of remarkable?
28th at home.
That feels like a bit of a relevant
That feels
statistic.
pretty close to Dylan Moore's righty-lefty platoon numbers,
No.
1,600 to 500.
The
Pretty close.
difference in Dylan Moore's is still higher than their OPS on the road.
That's just wild.
But aren't those numbers pretty staggering? Now, again, small sample size, this and that. I know. They've only played 23 games total, 13 at home, 10 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that certainly backs up everything your eyes tell you.
It does. I'll tell you the other thing my eyes are seeing, and it's kind of strange because the whole pitching staff and organizational thought and voice did not change, right? Scott Service changed, Dan Wilson changed, but your pitching department did not change. And yet, just our command, that throwing strike one that is just the foundational piece of Mariners baseball is just both from starters and relievers. I'm just not used to seeing. Did Bryce Miller, honestly, Lyle, did Bryce ever have 4 walks his rookie year? And certainly not in 4 2/3 innings. I mean, he's got 12 walks this month, by far the most of any month in his career.
Didn't he have fewer walks last year than George Kirby?
He was 10,
right there.
Or sorry, he was top 10 in the league in walks per nine last year.
He had a whip under 1 last year. Walks and hits per innings pitched.
His whip in terms of just walks per innings pitched yesterday was nearly a 1. Yeah, that's before you add in the hits.
So you just kind of start to wonder a little bit, like, is this, are both he and Luis, is Bryce, feeling a little something? We never know this. Only he knows this. They never talk about it. Luis we have seen with age and maybe wear and tear. But when you're not throwing strike one and you're putting people on base and you're walking people, that is not.
Yeah,
Mariner baseball.
there's a bunch of things here that kind of factor in, right? I mean, look, Bryce Miller threw more innings last year. Does that have an effect on him the next season? We've always thought that this could be the case, and it's sort of like that lurking problem that nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
But that's been out there as an issue. It does not seem to have affected Brian Wu right now, which is great. He's been the best pitcher in the
But
rotation.
remember, he didn't
by
throw
far.
as many innings last
That's true.
year.
Yeah,
He had
that's
some
true.
stops
But
and
it was
starts and
still a
stops and
big
starts.
jump from what he had done previously.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Gilbert hasn't made it out of the 5th since opening day.
Yep.
Right now, he's pitched a bunch of those games on the road, and that's part of the reason. Like you've got some of these home road split things, but yeah, maybe there's a little chicken in the egg.
A little bit like I go on the road, and I know in Cincy or I know in Boston, I can't throw that there. In Seattle, when it's 48 with the marine layer, I can throw that there, and even if it's hit on the screws, it's not going to do the damage it's going to do in Fenway or Cincy right. I mean, that's
and you
gotta
see
be
it
part of
yesterday. I mean, the balls just get knocked all around the ballpark, and yeah, do the walks come because of fear and trying to be too careful because you don't have that T-Mobile safety net behind you? Yeah. I think all of those are really fair questions. It's been nice that the defense has improved here over the course of the season. I like their infield defense a lot better today than I did on opening day. I think that's been a major difference for them. But this is an interesting, I think, not to bring up your dental watch list, but I got my Hawkeyes trained on this right now.
We have talked about this kind of around it the last few years. We've talked about park effect as all these numbers have come to life over the last 5-10 years, right? Trying to understand just the significance of this place. I think we've talked about it, but it feels like now we're living in it. Like this is just, those numbers are staggering.
Yes.
Early start, obviously. Probably evens out a little bit as the weather warms and everything. But here, early on, when you're second in one thing in the league and 28th in the other thing on the road and home, that is a gigantic
difference, right? So yeah,
it's like playing a tier 1 QB, franchise QB, and playing your guy. What was his name? Max
Hall?
Oh, yeah, Max Hall.
Effort, Max Hall.
Throw him under the bus again.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just kind of a look at it.
Yep.
That's where the Mariners are. They lose yesterday, not their best effort yesterday. Now they've lost the first game of each of the last couple series and found a way to bounce back in the next 2. We'll see if they're able to do that again.
I think today's the day also. I said I came in. I brought a football. Today's the day. It's that we're on the precipice of the draft. All of my draft stories. Today is the day that Lyle catches footballs.
Don't
on the
do it,
street.
Lyle.
Yeah, it is.
Don't do it.
And more than anything, I want to see him throw. I mean, today I've talked about the athleticism of all these guys and all these scouting reports. And Lyle, we didn't get to do it down in Peoria. You're going to catch a football
Don't
today.
do it.
What do you think?
Don't do it.
It's fine with me, but all Salk says is don't do it.
Do you value your fingers?
He's scared.
Are you interested in keeping them?
Salk is scared.
For the most part, yeah.
Don't catch the ball from Brock.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you straight up.
I'm almost 50. I'm a lot easier. I'm calmer.
Total liar. Don't listen to a word he says. He is a humble
I won't
bragger.
Pump up the velo.
He's
at
saying
all.
that now so that when he throws it, what he says is half
I'll
speed,
soft
and it
toss it to
still
you,
tears
Lyle.
the top off your finger. He can be like, I wasn't even throwing that hard. I'm just so strong and in such great shape at 49. It's unbelievable. We'll be back with Need to Know next.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
John, since we talked to you last week, there's a new backup quarterback in town.
Yeah.
Drew Lock.
I think it's a great situation. We have 4 guys that we really like. It doesn't preclude us from doing anything in the draft either, and figuring out what's going on there. It's really like, okay, let's get this in the mix. Drew had other opportunities, so we figured we better kind of put a bow on it.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
All right, guys, let's talk weight loss and just how much this Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan works. I've been in that maintenance phase for a while. I was like, you know what, hop back on, lose a couple more pounds. And in a couple of weeks, I've dropped 17, 19 pounds, something like that. It just works really well. It's easy, it's convenient. And again, just the effectiveness is unbelievable. It adjusts with your lifestyle. So you can go into that weight loss mode like I've been in whenever you want, or be on the maintenance plan whenever you need to be there. That kind of helps erase that yo-yo effect where you gain the weight back immediately afterwards. This thing works, and it really isn't that hard. I've said that a bunch. The food tastes good. Last night I had a little pork chop with a broccoli recipe that I made. You can do this too. Ryan Roland Smith's doing it now. He's lost 30 pounds plus. It all starts with a 15-minute phone call, and you can schedule that at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Just see if it's right for you. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Washington is leading the way in car theft reduction. Car thefts dropped by 32% from 2023 to 2024 in our state, but there's still work to be done. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Hey, guess what? Draft day is indeed tomorrow. It all gets underway. The Seahawks are in a really good spot, right? The word in this draft is starters. Maybe not stars, but starters. And so a really good year to have 5 picks in the first 92, 10 overall. Joel Klatt. Pretty happy with what the Seahawks have in this particular draft.
They're in a great position in this draft, and I think you guys would agree with this. There's only 2 teams with more picks. I think it's like Baltimore and I think, San Francisco? Each have 11 selection. I think Seattle has 10 selection, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And a lot of those are in those roster building rounds, 2 through 4, maybe even extended to 5. You get those guys. And I will say, and I'm sure if you've had DJ on, which I'm sure you have, this is a starter draft. It might not be a star draft, but it's a starter draft.
I'm getting some feelings, Salk. Like Boston more than a feeling. I'm getting more than a feeling. This is going to be a very, very active draft. It has been a zero burger so far, like since 1967, since the modern draft. To not have a move in the first round to this point has been unprecedented. That changes in 36 hours. And I think these guys here down the street are a big part of that. A big, big part of that. Both at 18 and then throughout that second round, like an accordion, they're going to be real busy.
Yeah, and, we've been talking so much about these offensive linemen, right? Again, still the biggest need on this team. What do you do? We've asked, I think, everybody this question. Yesterday it was for Joel. Kelvin Banks, Gray Zabel, Trey Booker, what are you doing if you got the choice of all 3?
Of those 3, I think it's Banks. I would go Banks, and the reason is because I think that this guy is a game from being the top tackle in the draft. I think if you look at his career in totality, I personally think he's a great tackle.
He goes on to talk about how the Georgia game kind of is the one thing that wasn't really his fault that everyone has looked at, but God, it feels like every day somebody has a different opinion on those 3 guys.
Yeah, and it feels like with every one of these mocks, and I was looking at Hawkblogger put out a PFF kind of by team and by need, a mock as well. Like you could start to confuse yourself. You can paralyze yourself. Paralysis by overanalysis, very easy to happen here in the final hours.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Not a great outing for Bryce Miller and not a very good day for the Mariners. They lose in Boston, which has been kind of a theme for them. Got behind early, couldn't overcome it. As I said, Bryce was not sharp, struck out only 4, walked 4, gave up 4, went just 4 in 2/3 innings. Dan Wilson on a starting pitcher.
I mean, running his pitch count up a little bit and these guys put some good at-bats on them. This is a good lineup, and it's a deep lineup, and just not able to let him settle into where, the first couple innings he got through pretty well, and then it seemed like they were pushing up the pitch count after that.
Can Fenway just be like one of those golf courses that just gets you every freaking time? And you're just like, you know what? Sandpoint Country Club, where your buddy's a member up there. Like, hey, next time you're in town, tell Salky, I'll take you guys out there. I don't want to play Sandpoint ever again in my life.
I think you're talking about the wrong course. I think
no,
what you need to be
I'm
talking
looking
about
at
is
6,200 yards. Like, from the tip, 6,200.
Our friend
and
Kathy's
every shot is a side lie, this lie, downhill lie. Like, it's just brutal.
Maybe you should talk about our boss's course, the Plateau course.
Well, that's just death. Yes, I mean, that's a different story. That one is just...
Hey, are you interested in having 7-iron off the tee and then a 3-wood in? Because this is the course for you. No, I think you're right. That's what Boston's been, just a house of horrors for them. I know you don't like to say that word, but I'll do it. Home run for Jorge Polanco, 2-run single for J.P. Crawford. That was it. They lose 8-3. But as we said, third time now that they've dropped the opening game of a series in a row. They've won those other 2 series, come right back. So
had a shot right in that first, by the way. Had a shot to kind of put a crooked number up there. Bases are loaded. There's a walk. Here's a hit by pitch. Here's a hit by pitch. Like, you kind of...
Yeah, Bayo hadn't pitched yet right this year, coming off the DL and just...
And Rowdy just going to
roll over. That didn't work. All right, Emerson Hancock today against the lefty Sean Newcomb, and then morning game tomorrow. Brian Wu and Garrett Crochet in the finale.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, this whole Kraken thing, non-traditional for sure, but they're going to make their front office shake-up official. They took the time to explain it yesterday. I'm still not sure I fully understand all of it. Ron Francis is indeed president of Hockey Ops, but he's going to focus on being the link between ownership, senior executive group, and business with the team. So it kind of feels a little bit honorary. And then when you hear him describe it, it sounds even more like maybe that's what this is. He's almost more of like a special assistant.
I feel strongly that if we're asking Jason to step into the GM chair and manage all those responsibilities, that he has to have final say in decisions. We will have discussions. I will give him my opinion. I know it won't be 100% we'll in agreement all the time, but we will have those discussions. But at the end of the day, he will make the decision, the final call in those regards. There's so much to do with the job, from players and agents and managing your staff and stuff. And this will free me up in some regards to do other specialized things where I can work closely with our young prospects.
Doesn't that sound a little bit more like a special assistant?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Especially when is he going to be able to hand the keys totally and completely over?
Or is that truly what he wants? Or is he being told, like, hey, you got to hand over the keys, man? That's kind of where this goes. And a lot of this comes back, I think, to the question you asked John Forsland yesterday. What is the Kraken's identity right now?
They don't have one. They don't, and that's what they have to establish moving forward. It's a great question, Brock, and it is the key, as you know, to any team in any sport. And they were onto their identity, I thought, after the first season, even though they were below bar. That was a tough year, COVID-wise, a lot of challenges. But I thought when you listen to what other teams said about the Kraken after the first year, they said that's a hard-working group over there.
Yeah, he went on to say that pretty well disappeared over the next couple of years. So,
and a hockey thing, by the way, I learned yesterday. Above bar. About 4 or 5 different times. Well, that was above bar. Oh, that was a below bar. That's a below bar. Kind of like that.
That might just be a Forsland thing.
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
I mean, usually you talk about going bar down. You know what that is?
No.
Right from the crossbar down. Like you're aiming to hit the bottom of the crossbar.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of go bar down.
That's a bar down. Below bar.
Everything you need to know.
Bar.
There's a lot about the bar. Yeah, go figure. For whatever reason, hockey players are very interested in talking about the bar. That's very surprising. All right. Yeah, it's weird the Mariners lost yesterday too, Brock, because they only struck out 5 times. So I'm looking at this and struck out 5, and then the Red Sox struck out 9. But it turns out runs are more important than strikeouts. So
gosh, are you just kind of feisty? I come back. Usually
it's not about you. It's just
usually when I see you, it's been a few days, whatever. You're just friendly.
You don't think I'm friendly today?
No, I think you're kind of sarcastically.
Well,
kind of feisty.
To be fair, Brock. To be fair, I'm stealing myself for the Seahawks to draft a slot cornerback tomorrow night.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I've got to be ready. Like I have to prepare myself.
The old grandfather girding your loins.
Yeah, I'm girding my loins.
Well, you're girding them really
for
tight.
the Seahawks to draft Malachi Starks at number 18 tomorrow. All right, draft buzz. There's a ton of it. What'd you say? 36 hours to go. We're gonna run through some of this next. Brock and Salk, Sales Sports on 710, SeattleSports.com.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, let's talk about luxury, and it's waiting for you. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yeah, that's where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, oh yeah, man, the world-class dining's getting even better with new restaurants. Entertainment, they've got plenty of it. The award-winning summer concert series is back with artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD, all this summer overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, go to snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Just Cause Legal knows the value of standing up for what's right. If you've been involved in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is here to fight for you with an aggressive team dedicated to securing the compensation you deserve. Just Cause Legal makes the process as painless as possible. Don't wait. Time is critical. Get the help needed today. Visit justcauselegal.com or call 253-859-8899 and meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal. Fighting for you.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, we'll help you find the perfect diamond. This is your engagement ring, aka only your life's most important piece of jewelry. No need to worry. As gemstone experts since 1929, we handpick only the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds cut to our high standards in every price range. We have diamonds in all shapes and sizes, ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Come see for yourself at shaneco.com or at your local store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar this Thursday at 6 p.m. to explain stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join him this Thursday at 6 p.m. for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Think about your home. Warm in the winter, cool in the summer. If any of these don't work, your quality of life is impacted. For a decade, I've trusted Home Comfort Alliance to fix and upgrade it all. Hi, John Curley here. Upgrade now with incredible savings on ultra-efficient heat pumps. Get up to $5,000 in local utility rebates. And Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Plus, Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Call Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Brock and Salk
weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You ready for the draft tomorrow? Are you ready for the draft tomorrow?
Yeah, I chatted with DJ. I was looking at our show sheet. Is he at a different time?
Yeah, DJ's going to join us at 8 today.
Okay.
Weren't you on that text thread? No? DJ's going to join us at 8 o'clock. So a half hour from now, we get a little early edition with DJ. He has some, stuff that he's got to do. He's at the draft already. I know.
Chatting with him offline yesterday, he is like...
And he's busy. So, half hour with DJ is normal.
You were finals week.
But we're going to do it at 8 o'clock rather than 8:30.
Ready to just get all that information out.
That's exactly right. We've spent a lot of time on the Seahawks draft, and we will with DJ here in a half hour. But there's a lot that affects the Seahawks draft as well. And I don't know that we've spent as much time this year as normal, kind of just talking about the draft in general. And there's a lot of buzz. And a lot of it this time of year is fake, right? And this whole story about Shedeur feels overblown to me. I'm not saying that he's the perfect prospect. I'm not. But the thing that came out yesterday of this is the worst interview ever, bad body, bad guy, tone it down. He did, for whatever it's worth, he did revitalize a program there in Colorado that was dormant. I mean, you got to give the kid some props. That feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean, his dad and Travis and the whole scene, it totally shifted. It was a bet. I remember chatting with Joel quite a bit about that. Joel Klatt, former Buff, pretty involved in that process, and it was a bet that they had to take. As bad as they were, I mean, they were. Who's the worst in college football right now? I mean, it was like Kansas of the 2000s.
Yep.
They were bad, just totally irrelevant, and now they're relevant. And he and Travis and Pops and other talent made them relevant. But I could see where, I've sat down with him a few times. I could see where if he's not interested, you're going to get zero. You can get no engagement. There's no phony, fake, nope, I got nothing for you. So go ahead, move along.
But that doesn't tell me what he's going to be like as a pro. That tells me he doesn't want to play for your team.
No, Schefter, I think, hit on this, in one of his little tidbits too. Does it affect an organization? Honestly, we know that after Tim Tebow and Denver, we don't need that show. We know with Kaepernick, we don't need that show. We know with Cam, with Johnny, we just don't need all of that. I don't need that. You're not that good. You're not that special, right? I think that
the problem with Tim Tebow is that he wasn't good. Right. I mean, the problem with Johnny...
he won two.
No, I mean, as a pro. The problem with Johnny Manziel is that he wasn't good.
Right.
You could have dealt with the circus. People have been dealing with the Aaron Rodgers circus for a decade.
But those guys won Heisman.
He's good.
Shedeur won one ranked versus one ranked.
He's got his number retired.
Yeah,
what are you talking
sure.
about? Meanwhile, the Titans are going to stick with that first pick. Apparently, according to Mike, their GM, Mike Bergonzi, they've had offers. I don't know if I believe them, but...
There was interest, yeah. I thought that was, doing our due diligence and going through the process to listen
to those offers, and there were. I don't want to go into specifics of what the offer was or what the teams were, but there were offers. You know, it's such a long process here, and we wanted to go through the whole thing. I don't know if there was a certain point along the process, but we were listening the whole time. You know, as we got towards the end of the process, you know, we decided as an organization we're going to stay.
Thick Boston accent he's got
Golly,
there.
Is that a hockey guy?
That's a guy from Everett,
is that
Mass.
the old Boston Bruins GM? Who was that?
That's a guy from Everett, Mass. Is what that is. That's what that guy is.
I was not prepared for that.
No, that's an Everett, Mass. That's where Mikey Sandersil's from.
Yeah.
Same town.
I mean, honestly, good for him. We ended the show with
You
Cam
don't believe
yesterday.
that there people were trying to trade up for that, do
you got to get a feel.
Maybe the second or third picks. People who are like, hey, I definitely want Abdul Carter.
Yep.
So we're going to trade up for it.
Yep.
Like if I'm the Patriots, they're at what? 4? I would think about going from 4 to 1 to see if I could get Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, that would be worthwhile.
Yep.
But other than that, like, come on, nobody's doing that.
No. Now, what else you got for me?
You're not even going to address that one?
I see we got 12.
All
And
right.
Maura makes all these cuts.
All right, we'll keep going through
Maura,
this.
walk in the
I
door.
figured you guys would pick your favorite. You don't have to get to all of them.
Maura, unlike Salky, who's just been like a little bit of sandpaper with me. I walk in. What does Maura do? Hi, Brock. How are you? Here's your cut sheet.
Yeah.
You know, just as sweet as can be.
She wasn't doing that to me this morning.
No.
She sat there and said nothing for a full half hour. Actually, so did I. All right,
I have coffee now. I've had time to wake up.
Where is Ashton Genty going to go? There's a lot of people think number 6 to the Raiders. Adam Schefter, not convinced.
Everybody in the world is at Ashton Genty going there, and I'm not so sure about that either. I think that the Raiders are open to moving back. Whenever I hear a team is open to moving back, that tells me that they're not married to anyone at that spot. Now, that means they could stay at 6 and they could pick Ashton Genty, but they don't sound so committed to Ashton Genty currently that they're not prepared to move back. So everybody's got Ashton Genty going 6. I say I'm not so sure about that.
Or you don't want to take a running back at 6, but you love taking him at 10, and you know where 7, 8, and 9 are going to go, and you're willing to bet that. So I want to trade down, and
I
ideally
really think Pete's going to take a running back with his first selection in Vegas. No, I know Pete loves running backs. He's not going to do it in the top 10.
I don't think Pete's making that pick.
I don't think they're doing that in the top 10.
I don't think Pete's got as much say there as he had here.
I think they will take either a left tackle, just like Pete and John did with the first pick they made here, or they will take a quarterback. I think they will go in one of those two directions. I just don't believe that they will take a running
according
back
to
there.
Peter Schrager this morning, Ashton won't even be there. He's going 5 to Jacksonville.
That would make more sense. Honestly, that would surprise me less than Pete taking a running back.
Liam
in that
Cohen
spot.
needing a running back in that system, and the way you can get the ball to him, the way he catches it in space, and
that would make more
take
sense.
a little burden off Trevor Lawrence. And,
what are the Steelers going to do, Brock? What are the Steelers going to do with the quarterback position? It is so weird. I know there's been some rumblings that Shador will end up in Pittsburgh. He had a comment about how
the best pass catching duos with the quarterbacks.
The one whoever's going to be quarterback in Pittsburgh is going to be on the list. Throwing a DK and Pickett. Yeah. Well, Omar Khan is their GM. He was asked about their quarterback situation, which right now is essentially non-existent.
I know you guys are going to ask about the quarterback position, and I'll just tell you guys same thing. We discussed in Palm Beach a couple of weeks ago. We go to camp with 4 quarterbacks. Right now we have 2 on the roster. And, all options are on the table, and how we acquire those last 2, I assure you we'll have 4 when we get to Latrobe.
That would be a pretty good fit for Shador, honestly. Whether it's all the way down there where they draft, or whether they've got to come up a little bit or what have you, if they are indeed enamored. That would be kind of like it was with Russ last year. The number of times we said, man, if Russ is ever going to have a remake, right, a rebuild of kind of persona and everything else, like that's the place to go. That is established. Now it's hard. Like that is, I've talked to people around the league. Like that is not an easy place. Ben did it for a long time and made it look easy. Not an easy place, from the stadium, from the environment, from
just because of the love of football there, the intensity.
Just the defensive intensity. Just like this is the way we play. So it's not a voluminous. Let's help the quarterback. It's play great defense. You run the ball and you got to make these plays. And by the way, you got to do it in brutal conditions with that wind coming off the water and the chilling. Like tough field, not a fast. Like, is a QB, that would not be a dome. Is a QB, that would not be a quarterback-friendly head coach. Is a QB, that would be a difficult spot. But one, if he can make it and have DK and George to throw to, pretty good talent around him.
Jerry Jones, this one's weird. I don't have sound of it, but Jerry Jones was giving an update in his pre-draft press conference yesterday, and said, quote, "We're looking at two things that could happen before or after the draft, two pretty substantive trades. Been working on that today." What does that sound like to you?
Well, any trade at this point would be substantive
No
because
kidding.
we have not had one involving a first rounder. You would think that would have to involve some dominoes with quarterbacks, right? I mean, for it to be, real substantive there, is Pittsburgh going to make a move? Where is Aaron going to go? Like, you think it probably starts, at least my gut does, instincts do. You?
I just assume Jerry wants attention.
Okay.
Right. I literally put no stock into this at all. To me, that's just Jerry wants a quote about him, and so here you go. Oh, yeah, no, we're working on some really substantive trades. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about me. Make sure my name's in the paper.
I mean, there are I was looking at some lists of some free agents around, and I'll get to a rumor here that continues to just percolate a little bit that I am not going to totally diminish. So there are some veterans out there. There are some teams that are, but substantive. That would, I think, involve a quarterback, and I don't know whom at this point. The musical chairs feel like
a word out of that man's mouth. To me, that guy's just a attention-seeking hog, and I've got no interest really in anything he has to say.
They'll probably need one, right?
Yeah.
But they're at 6, so they wouldn't really need to move up.
Yeah, Derek Carr, the shoulder situation and kind of people monitoring, all sorts of good stuff.
I'm moving on.
Look at all these. Look at all these little rumors.
Let's go to Chicago.
You like gossip. You like talk.
But I don't like Jerry. Ryan Poles is the GM in Chicago, who's been very busy this offseason, right? I mean, they've brought in entirely new offensive line. Yeah, as it probably should be.
And Joel Klatt in his mock had Kelvin Banks going to them.
Yep. Well, and by the way, that wouldn't surprise me. Like, they've already done so much on the offensive line. They're in a division with a team like Detroit who's winning with the offensive line. Maybe they're interested in eating their vegetables and getting a good base before they start worrying about all the other skill position guys. Here's what Ryan Poles said.
Yeah, I think it's deeper in certain areas than others. Usually the cutoff is a little bit quicker. I think once you kind of get into 2, 3, and this one's going to be a little bit different. So I think there's going to be a lot more movement than there has been in the past. There's a lot of phone calls going on right now.
All right, so a lot of movement, which is probably good for a team like the Seahawks with, as we've said a million times, 10 picks and 5 in the top 92.
Agreed. And I think that plays to what DJ has really said the last month to us, that I think I asked him very specifically, give me your 18th player and your 50th player and let me know their grade. It's not like the Mariners OPS home and away. There's very little statistical relevance and difference between player 18 and player 50 in this one. I mean, it stretches that far, and even maybe to 15 or 12, that far from the stars to the starters. So what team needs what starter? What do you need? Yeah, I need a guard. Yeah, I need a tight end. Oh, I need a slot receiver. Oh, I mean, they're littered in the second. I need a D tackle. I need a safety. I need a corner at that point. So these teams that have, I think, specific positional needs are going to try to move up and down that piano.
Well, the more you've got, the easier it is to do that.
Yes,
I mean, I still have questions about how easy it will be to move back from 18 if that's what you want to do. I just can't imagine there are that many teams that want to move up to 18. And, if that's what John is banking on. Right? I know. But if that's what remember what happened a few years ago when they thought they were going to be able to move out of that spot, right? And somebody was going to trade up to wherever they were, 20, something like that. And then Jordan Love ended up getting drafted one pick before them, and nobody wanted their pick. And that's not the way they wanted that. Is that when they took? When they took the linebacker.
Collier? No,
I think that's
Jordan
when Jordan Brooks.
Probably.
I could be wrong,
but
I think that was the year they took Jordan Brooks. And you're like, I never really got the sense that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to trade back. But then nobody wanted that pick. And this is a draft where everybody's basically the same between 18 and 50, how many teams are going to be looking to trade up for your spot?
I do also wonder if this just played a little tertiary role. Like when we all make big decisions in life and we try to lay things out and people do it in different ways. You're a very verbal processor. You love to verbally process. There are some, and I'm in my own head doing a lot of my processing before I verbalize it, some that put it on paper and all these decisions. I wonder honestly how much of a factor, if it was like the final impetus, like, hey, boys, John and Mike, like, pull the trigger on DK, pull the trigger on G. If there is a year to do it in this draft, if there's a year to assemble 3, 4, 5 picks and find, like, your next stud starters.
Yeah.
Not like, man, maybe make 10, maybe you'll put, no, like, stud starter. Like, second and third round, we've seen stud starters. There's Jaron Reed. There's DK Metcalf. There's Bobby Wagner. There's Tyler Lockett. We've seen these stud starters. They're in this draft. So I wonder if that was maybe the last little as they went through all the machinations.
Yeah,
with
let's
those
make this
trades.
Mike McDonald's team.
That's right.
I mean, that's one of the things we've been
We've got
talking
an
about forever
opportunity,
now.
Unlike the draft with, oh my gosh, where they took DK Eskridge in the second round. You look at that draft after the fact, you're like, oh, that was a brutal draft.
I think it was just D. Eskridge and Trey Brown. I think those are the only two people
Yeah,
they
but
took.
I'm even talking about
And Stone Forsythe.
Yes, I'm talking about in that.
Excuse me, and Stone Forsythe.
Well, they had 3 total picks in the draft.
I don't want to leave
Forsythe.
Stone out. Thank you for jumping in. No, I appreciate
But
that.
in that draft,
that really improves the way you look at it, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of that group? Who started? I bet Stone Forsythe has started the most games for them.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. What a god awful
He's
draft
no longer
that was.
here, by the way. Bless his
Stone?
heart, yeah.
Where'd he go?
He signed somewhere else.
No.
I'm pretty sure of it.
No, he's still here.
Wow, you had drinks with him
I
in
bet he's still
Belltown,
here.
right? Is he out of here? He's out of here,
I bet
right?
he's still here.
I don't
What
think
about
so.
Belltown?
Nothing. Stone's not on the
Go
roster.
back,
No.
go back to sleep, Lyle. Don't worry. We'll wake you up in a little while when we talk some baseball. Right now, it's time for Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
How about that? Lyle basically asleep all morning until you mentioned the word the draft with D. Eskridge. And he's like, Stone Forsythe.
He's a giant now.
Thank you. He is a giant of a man.
He is.
Giant of a heart.
Excuse me, Stone Forsythe, also in that draft. You're missing Stone Forsythe.
Remember when it was week 14 and he hadn't played in 7 weeks and he was still leading the league in pressures allowed? That's very hard to do statistically.
Excuse me, don't forget about Stone Forsythe.
Well, I'll make sure to memorize every pick in this draft and rattle off when you forget whoever they take in the next
that's
round.
a given.
I tried to do Chat GBT. I told you this, right? With the roast, we did it with Passan yesterday. I tried to do it with Maura and Lyle. The problem, Maura Dooley is a very famous English poet. Irish poet. And then Lyle Goldstein is a very famous, like, nuclear political figure.
That was like my first little bit on this show. Salk added the wrong person on Twitter.
Pretty much.
I was like, hey, we're excited to welcome Lyle Goldstein to the show. Wrong Lyle.
But he did sound like a nuclear physicist, politicist, as he jumped in with Stone right there. Good job.
I think I'm blocked on Twitter by the other Lyle. I'm pretty sure he was just tired of getting tagged in things. So.
Probably.
Don't blame him. Brock, you mentioned a Seahawks draft rumor that you're not able to shake. What is it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Maura. I mean, have you seen Ken Walker? I did. I looked at his pictures yesterday. He had a shirt on, so it wasn't quite as dramatic yesterday. 92 photos with the Seahawks I was looking at on the plane yesterday. People probably, if they peeked over my shoulder, like, what is this weirdo doing? Looking at all these weightlifting pictures. What a weirdo.
That is weird.
Yeah, that's what I do. I am kind of strange in that way. DeMarcus looked good.
I looked at all of them, too.
You did,
I was
too?
trying to see who was there.
Uh-huh. Have you seen Ken Walker was there. There's this little rumor, man. It's just little, like... And it's mostly because of the same reason we just talked about. It's because of the market conditions. So this draft, when I look at running backs, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, if you want a running back, if you need a running back, this is your draft.
Okay.
Said it during the season. I think in about 6 of my opens with Benetti this year because I saw every one of them. I saw R.J. Harvey at Central Florida. I saw Giddens at Kansas State. I saw the kid out of Iowa. I saw them all. And every time I'd say to Benetti, I said, you know what, Benetti, the last couple of years in college football, it's been the year of the quarterback. This year, this is the year of the running back. And here's so-and-so, and here's Cam Scatterbo.
So what's the rumor?
The K9 could be moved.
But why would any other team want him if they're all those running backs?
Because he's a more proven commodity. Because he'd be more valuable to somebody else. Now, again, not for a first, a second, a third, a fourth. You know,
You're trading him for nothing.
It'd be a later round pick. Yeah, you're just resetting. You're resetting that room. You're telling Zach Charbonnet, this is your team, buddy. This is your system. And then you're going to bring in, 4th or 5th or 6th that, is just resetting K9 that could stay healthier, right? The health has been a big deal with Ken Walker. I don't know if that changes all of a sudden in year number 4. So
It's an interesting rumor. Let me just tell you, I don't buy it. I don't buy that it'll happen.
You don't buy it?
I'm not saying it's like that you're not hearing the
On
right
a
rumors.
scale,
I don't think it'll end up
of
happening.
1 to 100, this is not a 1. This is not 100.
No.
This is...
Doesn't feel like something that's going to happen.
This is, to me, like in the 40s or 50s.
Okay.
Keep an eye.
Alex in Monroe says, Lyle, do you just wake up from a dead sleep at 2 in the morning and yell out, Stowe Forsyth?
No, he rattles off all 30 managers in baseball, which
2
he knows.
a.m.? Lyle's just getting ready for bed at 2 a.m. What are you talking about? He knows he's got work at 5. He's got to start thinking about going to bed at 2.
Put your number on it. I say 40-50. What do you say? Percent odds?
Percentage that he gets moved?
Mm-hmm.
What number does Ken Walker wear?
9. Okay, 9.
I'm going to go about 9%.
9%. All right.
I'll go 9%.
All right.
Question number 2. Give me another outside-the-box move that the Hawks could make this weekend.
Linebacker. We talked about Jahad Campbell. I think he was my only linebacker I profiled. When we get to the best of the rest, when are we doing that? At 9 o'clock today? Since DJ's at
8:45.
8:45? All right, well, look at that, man. Look at all my best of the rest.
Good.
Just on my legal
We need
pad
that.
yesterday. Yeah, I realize, and there is a big drop, by the way. If there's a position where you look at the top guys and then you look at, like, you know, that just ledge that John Schneider talks about, that cliff, there is a big cliff between the top 2 or 3 inside linebackers and the rest. Right, there's a first rounder in Jihad. There's a maybe late first, second rounder kid out of UCLA who I'll profile as one of my others at 8:45. Maybe a kid out of South Carolina in the second, third, and then it's like, okay, that's 5th, 6th, 7th. Like there is a big drop off. But I think they're doing their work on inside linebacker. I think that's a position. If there's any position, if Pete Carroll was to running backs, inside linebackers are to Mike McDonald. That is that important a position, and that would be a little bit of an outside the box that almost nobody has talked about.
I'm not against that. Again, got to be elite on defense if that's who you want to be. Question number 3: as you watch those 90 some odd pictures yesterday posted from the Seahawks at their workouts.
Yep.
God love you.
Yes.
What did you take away?
A couple things.
What do we make of DeMarcus Lawrence wearing number 0?
Is that what? Yeah. You like it?
I don't not like it.
It's boomer bust.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of boomer bust in there.
So it kind of fits. Yeah, kind of fits feast or famine where he's at.
Might be pretty good.
I'll say Cooper Kupp is one lean sucker. I sent you that picture with him and JSN to UNG, and he's on that Drew Brees, Tom Brady. How do I sustain? I've got to be like, I bet you that guy is maniacal about his diet like Lyle is. I bet he only nibbles on protein bars because that guy is one lean dude at this stage. There are a bunch of pictures of Byron Murphy. I think year 2 for Byron Murphy, instead of ate the
big meal?
Yeah, he didn't eat the big meal last year. Got banged up a little bit. He had to watch Jared Verse in the division. He had to watch other rookies get a lot more hype than him. That guy did not eat the big meal, and I think he wants to eat the big meal. And I think this should be and needs to be a significant step from fine. You're fine. It wasn't a bad pick. You weren't a bust or anything. You're fine. But I need you to be a difference maker. And great to see him out there and really active and look pretty good. Let's see. What is the last? Oh, it looked like just about everybody was in attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, Mora went through them all too.
It's voluntary. It doesn't matter. I don't know why you're even looking at that, Brock. Who cares who was there? Doesn't matter.
Have you ever thought about making a hard alcohol called Sarcastic Seltzer? Salk, triple S. Salk Sarcastic Seltzer.
I don't know why it matters. Why would you even give us
seltzer.
a report on who is there at voluntary practice? It's voluntary, therefore it means nothing.
Right.
If guys don't want to be there, then leave them be. Brock.
Thanks.
Today's Blue 88.
Have we heard that? Have we heard that for a few years or something? Did we make some comments about Golden Tate being up in Vancouver and out of practice?
How long ago was that? I remember sitting at T-Mobile one day doing a show before a Wednesday day Mariner matinee and talking about sorry, I love Cliff Averill, but I don't understand. And it's a great thing that he's going to Haiti to do. He does unbelievable work. Why do they have to do it this week? Why couldn't they do it last week? This was the only year they had only week there was a flight to Haiti. Like, do it last week. Do it next week. Why does it have to be the same week as voluntary workouts?
That's kind of a harder argument right there because there are other people involved.
No. It was like his thing.
I know, but the people there with boots on the ground.
No, it was like his thing. It could have been any
Don't
time.
die on that hill. Die on the
I
Gold,
might.
Golden's up in Vancouver,
Oh,
BC.
Marshawn, I can't possibly make it this week. I got stuff to do. What are you talking about? This is the week of workouts. This is your job. This is the week you got to be there.
You've been off for 4 months.
It's ridiculous.
Might want to come back and lift and run
I
with your
still
teammates.
can't believe of all the things. There are moments that were like we have like some arguments on this show, some debates. Like I can't believe one person voted the other day for Teteroa McMillan over an offensive lineman. I can't believe there's still a single human being who is a fan of a football team who doesn't care whether or not their players show up for voluntary workouts. It's just voluntary. Why would you even say anything like that? Well, that is the most asinine take we ever get. I can't believe there are people who feel that way. Truly. I can't believe there are people that are such excuse-making weirdos that they wouldn't even that's bizarre to me. Daniel Jeremiah is already at the draft. He's in Green Bay, Brock. He's ready to go. I think he had a fish fry last night, and he is ready to give us all the content we need. He's coming up next on Brock and Salk.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who's a player the Seahawks should absolutely look at if he's available at 18?
I don't think he's going to be there, but I'm looking at linebacker Jalon Walker. He can rush off the edge, he plays in the middle, and he plays with that type of energy that Ernest Jones gives me. And you need depth at that linebacker spot. So if Jalon Walker's available, I don't think he's going to be available, but I've seen some mocks where he is. You got to take a look.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple of years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
You don't have to be a professional athlete to feel like a champion. At Emerald City Athletics, every person discovers the champion within. If you're setting personal records, tackling your daily goals, or aiming to be your best self, Emerald City Athletics will help you feel like the champion of your life. That's why they were voted the best in the Pacific Northwest. It's not just about fitness. It's about empowering you to step into your full potential so you can become your best self and feel the best you've ever felt. Each day at Emerald City Athletics is an opportunity to rise, to push beyond what you thought was possible, and to become stronger inside and out. Train for a goal, build confidence, embrace a healthier lifestyle. Emerald City Athletics will help you achieve greatness and find the champion within. Check out Emerald City Athletics today with a free 29-day pass available now for a limited time. There are gyms, and there's Emerald City Athletics. Come discover the difference.
Discover LeMay, America's car museum in Tacoma. Explore 300 world-class cars, 100 years of history, and a Shinka exhibit with 50 iconic Japanese sports cars. Thrilling race simulators and fun for the whole family. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Goodbye, winter mud. Hello, Dream Yard. Spring is here. Synthetic Turf Northwest has you covered. No more soggy lawns or weekend yard work. Just green, clean, and ready for backyard barbecues, wiffle ball, or kicking back. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the area leader in synthetic grass, residential and commercial installs, plus turf supplies out of our Woodinville warehouse, and soon in Fife, right off I-5. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com today.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of murder.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! All right, we're going to do things a little bit differently today as we are just one day away from the NFL draft, and Daniel Jeremiah is there. He's already in Green Bay, no doubt, having fish fry last night. DJ, good morning to you. How are you?
Oh, it's great to be with you. Just to give you a little scene set, I'm looking literally right out my window here is Lambeau Field.
Nice.
As a veteran of our communication, and this is, the new Zoom world, I have my computer sitting on 2 coffee mugs with a notebook that's leveled above it to just get a nice camera angle.
Nice.
So I want to just kind of get a feel for it.
You're in a hotel or do you rent a place there?
Yeah, we're in a hotel. Oh, real quick, hold on. Let's see if you can
Yeah, let's see. People are watching on YouTube. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
that's unbelievable.
Oh.
Wow.
And he made his bed.
You made your bed in your hotel room?
Make your bed, kids.
Two-room suite, boys. The one in the other room.
Okay.
Is not
I was
made.
going to say, DJ wakes up and it's like, I forget about house cleaning. I'm going to come, I'm going to just make my bed.
DJ, you ready, man? You ready? Like, we're
Dude,
here.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I've had so many phone calls and, so much stuff that's flying around. And, every 10 minutes it changes. But, dude, this is what I love about the draft. I just got off the phone with AJ Preller because he wants to know what's going on in the draft. So it's just
Hey, what was that on the floor? Look, can you show us the floor again? Hold on. What was that? Is that the name you just dropped? Oh, yeah, there it is. There's the name you just dropped right there on the floor. Look at that. And you fell for it. Well, I have to get back at you because of what happened. I don't know whether all these phone calls and all the name dropping is just kind of gotten to you.
First of all, hold on. Before you get to this, I know where you're going. But, Brock, can you just appreciate something for a second?
Yes.
We had a chance. I was able to connect with you on the phone the day yesterday. I don't even know what day. They all run together for maybe 5 minutes. I'm literally constantly. It is one show to the next, and then it is a GM, a head coach, and then first of all, then I get the "we're upset. I can't believe you did this" text message, and I'm like, guys, I have no idea what you're even talking about. I've done 5 billion of these shows, and then on top of that. I'm getting ready to go to bed last night. I'm like, gosh, I've been on the phone so long. I've got 1 billion text messages. I'm going through there, and it's like, I think this team's doing that. Is this player going to be there? And then I get Salk with like 9 pages of homework that he
No,
wants
there's
me
no
to do before we
homework.
do this interview.
Stop it. I
I'm
was
like,
trying to help
goodness
you.
gracious.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
here are the questions we might ask you in case you want to, know ahead of time. Trying to make you look good. Because what happened with Mina Kimes was not a good look. It wasn't a good look for you. It wasn't a good look for us. Here you are, asked by Mina Kimes what the Seahawks should do if they have some stupid wide receiver they're available or Gray Zabel.
Yeah, this is a classic case of need versus how I stack the players. So I have McMillan as a higher rated player. I think your fan base is split.
Nope.
I think there's a portion that would love to have that exciting receiver to come in and replace what you lost in DK Metcalf. And there's the other side that's like this interior offensive line has got to be resolved. And so I don't know this would get universal praise. I think you think it might get universal praise. I don't think it would get universal praise, but I'm going to take McMillan at this point.
It should. They should if he's there.
My buddies Brock and Salk would faint, I think, if they don't come away with an interior offensive lineman.
Do you not know
Free plug.
Well, my last name has an L in it, man. It's not sock. It's not like a balled up sock that you throw on the ground. There's an L in there.
That's not a silent L?
No, it's a real L. It doesn't rhyme with Brock. It's an actual L. Like, don't you live in San Diego? Do you know about the Salk Institute there?
I do.
Okay, there's an L in it.
I took a field trip there. I've got 9 million names floating around in my head. Come on. That's close. I mean, I think that's like the you're punishing me under current baseball rules with the instant replay.
That's true. That's not fair.
The swipe tag and
I don't care about my name. That I totally get.
Okay,
I don't
get
care
to your
about
homework.
That.
You have
but
9
DJ,
questions for
But
him.
DJ,
go ahead.
Were you just playing nice because you know Mina's all about the wide receivers? Because there's no way you think that they should take Tedero McMillan at 18.
Well, that wasn't the question. The question was, how do you have them rated, and who would you take if you were like going off of my board? So the question is, I have McMillan as my 15th player and Zabel in like the early 20s. So based off of the way I have them stacked, I'm like, well, this would be my highest rated player, would be there. And then to me, we had done McMillan. She's very high on McMillan, so she had asked me about McMillan about 4 other times with previous picks. So I'm like, at some point in time, I got to get McMillan there. But I thought I did a nice job. Maybe didn't get your name correct, but I did do a nice job of explaining that her belief that this was the home run pick would not be perceived as necessarily as a home run, because I feel like I have a pulse on the city based off of our conversations.
That's true. What is and are some of the biggest rumors filtering through your brain this morning?
Filtering through my brain, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to end up getting Kirk Cousins after the first round's over, so then they don't take a quarterback, and we only potentially have one unless somebody else comes up for a quarterback.
Is that what Jerry was talking about, Jerry Jones, when he said some substantive moves out there?
I think the Jerry thing I interpreted as like he's going to trade for Jalen Ramsey or Tyreek Hill or, do something like that. That was why I interpreted that. That's based off, that's just my guess.
All right, so Kirk Cousins to Pittsburgh. What other rumor we got?
Then there's rumors. I mean, I'm gonna have Denver being aggressive in this thing. There's people that differ on who they would be aggressive for. There's some people that think if Ashton Genty were to slide just in the slightest, that he might go up there and get him. I'm gonna, spoiler alert, and I saw my buddy Peter Schrager ended up doing something similar. I'm going to have them making a move and being aggressive for Colston Loveland. So those some of the things that are kind of dancing around, floating around. I think that Jacksonville is between Genty and McMillan. They would love to get the heck out of there if they can. I just don't know who's going to come all the way up there.
If the Seahawks want to trade down, and that's usually what John Schneider wants to do when he's sort of in the back half of the first round, what should they be rooting for along the way in order to make that a possibility?
Well, I don't think you're going to have to root. Do you want? By the way, I have this mock draft tonight. Do you want me to tell you who I have them picking?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you had one more.
Oh, can I get the chime? Can I get the chime? Where's the chime?
Do you have a drum roll?
Yeah. I think you have them. Do you have them picking at 18?
No.
You have them moving back to like 24.
I would encourage everybody in Seattle to still watch the show, but you don't have a first-round pick. So that's my...
Wow.
But let me give you the 2 options. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
So, and I'm kind of... Just don't post this one on social yet. Can we just let the show come out?
Absolutely.
100%.
We can do that, yeah.
Okay.
Nobody's listening anyway. Don't worry about it.
Good teammates.
Yeah.
So I have the Giants coming up. there. And so here's the 2 trade proposals, okay? These are point total wise match up with the chart. You guys tell me what you'd rather have, okay?
Okay.
Seahawks, they give up 18, and the first option is you get 34, you get 65, and you get 105 all this year, okay? 34, 65, 105.
So that's just so I understand, early second, late third, right?
So you get 34, which is an early second. 65 is an early third.
Oh, early third, yeah.
And
First pick on the
105
third.
is a 4, is a relatively early 4.
Okay.
So 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Or you can get 34 and next year's 2.
I'll do next year's 2.
You will.
I always want more picks next year.
Delayed gratification.
Yes, I always want more picks next year.
too.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I
My
would do the
whole
same
goal
thing.
in going into any draft would be to get another first round pick next year.
So hang with me then on this. So then Seattle would have 3 second-round picks, and I believe they still have 2 third-round picks, right? So, and we've all agreed that the sweet spot of this draft is day 2. There's not much difference in the guy you're going to get at 18 versus the guy you're going to get at 50. So they've would have a chance to get 5 guys, value picks, and you've scooped up a second-round pick next year.
Okay.
Do we like that?
Love it. Absolutely. I would have no problems with that whatsoever.
You know what? We're not hosting a draft party like we did a couple years ago, DJ, when they had 25. Could have had Jabril traded down. I could have had Ramchick not traded down. Oh, just traded out. Yeah, we were in front of thousands.
But what do they do at 65?
Or 34.
Or 34.
I was
sorry,
trying to think of a
34.
joke of how I could mention that somehow we were taking an L, like I took an L out of your name, but then I just couldn't manage it, couldn't navigate it, word it correctly.
Okay, so now with the Seahawks' first pick in number 34.
Yeah, what do they have left to do? What can they do?
Well, I didn't go to a second round mock draft. Spoiler alert! It's only an hour show.
Who's left? I mean, like, what kind of players would be left that we've talked about?
So
Kenneth Grant left.
Kenneth Grant's gone.
Okay, he's gone. Zabel.
Gone.
Gone.
I had Zabel going really early, by the way, when you start stacking up needs.
Donovan Jackson?
Hooker's gone. Donovan Jackson's gone.
Jeez.
Just one offensive lineman. You know, you're like the offensive lineman that, you know, you probably would do it with your. I don't know if you would do it at 34. I think you would be more likely to do the offensive line with your next pick, and that's where you start getting into. This is like, well, you know what? Savanaya from Arizona could be a pick, you know, at 34. It's a little bit earlier than I have him. I have him at 47 on my list. But you're looking at Savanaya, you're looking at Jared Wilson, you're looking at Miles Frazier, Tate Ratledge, like all those groups of guys. I think all those guys are going to go in that range. In
Josh
the second
Connerly?
round. Yeah, Connerly I had going late first. I had him going to the Chiefs.
Yeah, so my top 4 guys, you do that. The top 4 guys we've talked about, and Banks and Booker and Zabel and Connor, they're all gone if you're out of the first round, right? They're all, and even Donovan Jackson, you asked me the other day, like, you think he's still in the first? Yeah, I do think he's going to be a late first.
But I don't know that I'm feeling as good about this now. Like, I think that
Yeah, it all felt good until all 5 of those guys.
But that being said, look, you could make that trade, and if after 18 you see a run, you come back in.
Yep.
So here's what I would say: if I gave you those 2 options, right? If your goal is to come back in to get one of the interior linemen, you take the haul of picks this year.
Yes, 100%.
So that changes that. That changes that.
Yeah,
decision.
I think I'm going there, DJ, and I don't know, and maybe you do, maybe John does. I know these organizations don't just look like we all do here in a vacuum at this draft. They've already got some semblance of a feel of what next year's draft is going to look like, right? Because this one feels like starter, meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes. This is the fill of all these COVID years and, you know, all these guys and a bunch of grown men in the second, third round. Does next year's draft hold those same cards as you kind of look in the crystal ball right now?
I will tell you that talking to the teams, the quarterback teams, that like there's a lot, and this happens a lot, but there is legitimate excitement about quarterbacks next year, which if you're a team, you know, if Sam hits, great. Now you've got a bunch of quarterbacks that are going to go. It's going to push players down to you. If Sam doesn't work, then you might be in that market next year. So that's kind of the early look I've had at next year's draft class. But I mean, look, we're always going to have, you're always going to have guards and some of the I don't want to say filler positions, but they're going to be there year in and year out.
What would it look like if they were to draft Kenneth Grant? What would Kenneth Grant and Byron Murphy look like together for the next 5 to 8 years?
It would be fun. I mean, you've got
DeVito
Murphy
and Schwarzenegger, twins.
Exactly. They will definitely look a little different when they're walking out for warm-ups. But what's interesting about him is, I would say that Murphy, as the stouter, smaller guy, is extremely strong, whereas Grant, as a bigger guy, actually does have some upfield. Like, they both can do both things. They both can hold the point. They both can penetrate. It's just in wildly different body types. But Kenneth Grant, there is a lot in his body that he hasn't necessarily tapped into yet. So that to me is going to be a pick about, do you believe in your coaching and your development that you can get this guy where he needs to be, because he's very immensely talented.
And he's probably available at 18.
I had him going in the 20s.
Yeah, that's really enticing. That's like the one thing, Brock, that could kind of get me out of taking an offensive lineman or whatever.
Here's my question.
Could you get dominant?
Well, in my scenario, where you're picking, you have Will Johnson and the big Kenneth Grant there. Does that inspire you at all?
Will Johnson's the corner?
The corner.
Yeah, no, I'm out. I got no interest in a corner.
Salk is really this month. He's used this line that I've talked to him
Salk,
about.
Is that what it is? Give me that. Can you say that one more time?
Salk, like Jonas, like his great grandpa that donated the vaccines. Salk, Salk.
Nice,
yes,
nice, got it.
Yeah, he is really, really settled in, and I love him for this. When he sinks his teeth into it, and it's just like a dog. He's just not letting go.
You have to earn the right to do that.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm going to keep saying this. If the Lions or the Eagles or the Ravens want to do it, great. They've earned the right because they've got a phenomenal line of scrimmage. You don't. Until you do, I don't think you can start drafting corners and wide receivers ahead of guys that are going to help you on the line of scrimmage. If those other teams want to do it, fine. They've earned the right. You got to build your foundation and eat your vegetables before you can get dessert.
Yeah, that's whatever analogy you like to use. I've used the shop at the hardware store before the toy store.
Sure.
Saying the same thing.
Sounds better.
So,
yeah, let's steal that
Does
one.
Klatt steal that from you too tomorrow night? Or?
Oh yeah, gosh, Joel's a beauty. By the way, Klatt is he gets in last night and he's like, where do I eat? What do I do? I'm like, Joel, like, this is not the Fox operation. Like, I'm not gonna be able to hold your hand and walk you across the street to get you your salad that you need. Okay, like, you got to figure this thing out.
Be a big boy. Yeah, be a big boy. You're on your own. Salk peppered you with all these questions, and he sent them to you last night. He's got a few more. Let me just sneak one or two in here that I think are relevant. Because I think receiver is I looked at the Seahawks yesterday. They started their strength conditioning program. Kind of look at Cooper Kupp and some veteran guys out there. They need an infusion of a young difference maker. And there are some guys in that second round that the Higgins kid, the Knoll kid, both out of Iowa State. I don't know if Burden falls into the second round. Could Burden fall there at 34 to you out of Mizzou? Who would be a home run wide receiver second round pick for the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh, I mean, Burden's going to be the most talented of all those guys. And there's teams, I know a lot of teams. One of the things I do during this time of year is I call the schools, and I want to see who's doing last minute homework, because it is just like we all were in high school, where like there's people cramming for the tests and they just want to make sure that they got it right. And so there's a lot of teams back of one that are doing last minute work on Burden. So he could sneak in there, but if he's not, like, that's a value pick, really talented kid. He's going to go early in the second round at worst.
Okay.
But the two Iowa State kids are really, really good. They both can run. They're just, a little different size, a little different skill set, but good players.
And there's a little rumor floating around, I dressed in blue 88, K9, Ken Walker is a guy that, you know what, let's reset this thing. He's going into year 4. We know what he is, but let's try to reset this. Let's move him. I know it's a deep draft, but let's find a way to move him and draft somebody on day 3 at running back, because this class goes deep. Give me 2 or 3 running backs day 3 that Daniel Jeremiah loves.
Well, I'm curious to see if the first one sneaks into the 3rd round, because he's just one of my favorite players to watch. But R.J. Harvey from UCF is just explosive. Like, everybody's hunting explosives, and he's someone that absolutely gives you that. So I love that. I mean, look, Scatterbo would be kind of fun. If anybody can appreciate physical running, it's the Seattle group. So that would be fun to kind of see him. He's there in that mix for me. There's kind of like the different styles. Like the home run hitters are R.J. Harvey. Then you've got Tootin from Virginia Tech. Jaden Blue from Texas, who's like a total mismatch in the pass game. He could be a fun weapon that way. I mean, again, there's a bunch of these guys. Devin Neal's just a good, solid player from Kansas, kind of a no frills. But given my choice, like give me the R.J. Harvey, give me the Jaden Blue. Like I want a home run hitter. I was looking at this. Like I ended up giving the Rams a running back in Omarion Hampton, who kind of fell down. Oof. And because I was looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? You're always chasing the team that's ahead of you, whether that's in your division or in your conference. And Kyron Williams is a good player. He rushed for almost 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. And on the surface, you're like, you don't need a running back. You're good. He had one run of 30 yards last year. Saquon Barkley had 13 when you include the playoffs.
Wow.
Like, that's a team that you're chasing, right? So, like, I want to get one of those guys that can turn some of these 20, 23-yard runs into 60, 70-yard touchdowns.
Yeah. So, look, just to bring it back to offensive line for a moment, you especially with your scouting time in Baltimore, if you were running a program, if you were a GM, and you knew you needed offensive line help, and you also knew that was a problem and hard to find around the league. In fact, John Schneider just this week referred to their need for an offensive lineman as kind of a lazy narrative. Because everybody needs offensive linemen.
How did that make you feel?
Not great, as you might imagine. I was a little bothered and maybe took it a little personally because I feel like I don't care that everyone else that it's hard, like tough noogies. That's the gig. But here's my question: if you needed to, make your offensive line better, are you better off spending fewer picks on that at the top of the draft? Or more picks on that at the bottom of the draft, middle to bottom of the draft, just saying essentially, look, nobody can predict this, and so we just need as many shots at the apple as we could, as we could get.
For me personally, it's hard to find tackles outside the first round. Like if you look around, and that's a needle in a haystack. If you can land on a quality starting offensive tackle who's not a first-round pick, they're darn near impossible. There's just so few of them every year, and you have to pay a premium. So I tend to, like, if you need tackles, I'm always an advocate of you got to take them early, you're not going to get them. Interior offensive linemen, and that goes back to my Ravens time. Like, we always felt like day two was just a sweet spot where you can get a top-tier player. We got Marshall Yanda in that mix, and that's just kind of always what I thought. Like, you can find those guys on day two, interior, plug-and-play, just solid guys. And then you can take some flyers. I was in Philly when we took Kelsey. In the 6th round, was undersized and athletic. It's just the developmental tackles are trying to find diamond in the rough tackles. That's darn near impossible.
What were you looking for in those? Like when you say, okay, like with Yanda or somebody like that, what qualities were you looking for in those linemen?
To me, I've always gotten in trouble when I've overvalued athleticism and I've undervalued toughness, strength, intelligence, competitiveness. Like, it sounds kind of hokey, like, oh, like the gritty offensive line. Like, those guys who strain to finish every single rep and work hard. And also, if you add that, guys that have played a lot in college, preferably in the Big Ten is where I like guys from the Big Ten or SEC, what have you. But you've started 40 games in the Big Ten, and you're smart and you're tough, and you're maybe not a special athlete. Those guys start and they play for a decade.
Is that not Connor Colby? Is that not the kid out of Iowa in this draft?
Well, he's a little bit down there for me.
Oh, okay. All right. He's way down there. Oh, all right. Fine.
He's got to go searching through.
I know he started 50 games. He was a former 4-star.
Connor Colby. No, I'm not a Connor Colby hater. Like, to me, but he's a little bit later for me. Like, for me, he's like the 5th round.
Okay.
But he can pull and locate, and he's tough. He can catch and absorb. He's just a little top heavy, and his balance was a little bit of an issue. But he's a big, strong guy who's played a lot of ball.
So 2 weeks ago, you shook us. You shook the whole social realm out here when you said Will Johnson outside the box. Take a corner there. If he were to fall at 18, just because of the value standpoint. And now we are a little over 24 hours away. What would be another position that could be fairly shocking? Whether it's at 34, if they make that trade, or somewhere in the 2nd round where people are just like, of course. I didn't see it coming. Should have seen it coming. Is there another position for the Seahawks that you could see them attack that might be a little unorthodox?
To me, I would look at like 2 guys that are interesting to me that we'll see where they end up going. But Jalon Walker, some teams view him as a tweener, but he is super explosive. Like, I joked, I was talking to to one of our information guys, and like, he's going to drop. And I'm like, well, if he's going to drop, then Howie's going to be on the phone, and the rest of the league's going to let this guy, the Eagles end up with one of the best players in the draft.
Yep.
But that's one I'll keep an eye on. And then I was talking to Brock a little bit about this. Brock actually calls me, doesn't just send me homework assignments. So we had a great conversation.
I don't think you want me to start calling you.
And I'll read
He said it's a lazy narrative. Lazy narrative. What do you mean lazy narrative? Tone it down over there.
Well, that's what you
I was
sound like
talking to
when you
Brock,
call
and I
me.
said, there's teams and agents of players who said, like, the Seahawks have doing a lot of work on the linebackers, and so I know Jihad Campbell. To me, he's my 12th player in the draft. He's an excellent player, but he's coming off of his shoulder, so hasn't been fully healthy through the process. I had him dropping, pretty considerably in this draft, and he was there when they were picking. So I just kind of, that perked me up a little bit that they've done a lot of work on those guys.
If Jalon Walker does start to drop, I mean, I've seen a ton of mocks where he goes at number 8 to Carolina. So if he doesn't go to Carolina and he does start to drop, I looked at Chris Collinsworth had a mock this morning where he got all the way to 17, and then goes to Arizona, and then that one kind of disturbed me. Like, at what point do you trade up for him? Like, how far does he have to go before you say, yep, I got to trade up and make this happen?
I mean, the absolute latest I would wait is at pick 14. Because I feel like I've given you guys all my mock draft. The Falcons are a pass rush team. I just can't imagine Atlanta, University of Georgia, elite player, position of need. Like, I would think you have to get in front of them.
We're friends, DJ. I just got one piece of advice with you for Clyde.
Would you do that, though? Would you do that? Would you trade up to 14? What do you have to give up in addition to 18, roughly? I mean, it can't be that much.
That's not that expensive.
Third, fourth round pick.
100%. That should do it.
You should make that happen.
Yep.
That should be goal. I wrote it this week. I'm still saying it.
Oh, get ready.
Goal number 1 is that. Goal number 2 is my guy Kenneth Grant. Goal number 3 is to try to grab the offensive
And goal number
line.
4, DJ, never, and I mean never, ever work out with Joel Klatt. Do not do it.
Is he a maniac?
Oh, psycho. His dad was a Marine. Just do not. Whatever you do, weird. If he's like, hey, you want to get a salad and then go work out in the afternoon, there's a good workout room here.
He can't possibly be competitive, could he?
What is he doing? Is he pushing weight? Is it cardio? What is it?
Burpees to push-ups to jumps to pull-ups to running a mile in 6 minutes. Do not do it. Just don't do it. Okay?
What is he doing?
Yeah.
Is he trying to get it? I know what he's doing. He wants to get his number retired. That's what it is.
Are you feeling pretty good after your win at the RBC Heritage last week?
I know. I'll tell you what. We locked in. We didn't have the finish we wanted at the Masters.
No.
But you know what? We're trying to make the Ryder Cup.
All right. Hey, we're going to let you go. We know you got a million things to do and important people to talk to. Seriously, jokes aside, thank you for doing this, especially the day before the draft. We do know how busy you are. Incredibly fortunate to have you. Love all the analysis. And looking forward to doing it next week when this whole thing is over. We can watch you, all 3 days on NFL Network?
Yeah, we
all
are
3 days.
We're jamming. So mock draft tonight on the network, which if you're watching or listening, you already know it. And then we've got Thursday through Saturday. So
awesome.
we're locked in.
Going to be great. We appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week. All right, there
See
you go.
boys.
There goes
Bye.
DJ. We'll come right back with everything you need to know. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
All right, Riverside Roofing is going to offer you guys $1,000. You want $1,000? No? Why don't you want $1,000? I'm talking about $1,000 off a new roof replacement. That's a great incentive for any homeowner to book their roof replacement right now. It's a good time to do it. Weather's been really nice. You got 8 o'clock sunsets. The crews can get your roof done real quick. And yeah, we know the rain will always be right behind it. So get it done now to keep yourself home and your home dry and protected. Here's what you got to do. Just go to riversideroofingllc.com, book a free estimate, and you're going to meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, and tell him you heard the message here on the radio station. That's it. Give you $1,000 back in your pocket and a brand new roof over your head. Ask Brandon about 35 years of local experience, about the GAF Master Elite certification. Ask about the catch-all system. For real, that keeps your yard and driveway totally free of debris, like nails or shingles. Ask him about all of it, and then make your choice. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. Save $1,000 with the roofing company you can trust.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and if you're interested in a backyard oasis, come explore the latest trends in outdoor living, patio, and deck design during the grand opening of People Come First Construction Group's new luxury design center. It's this Friday starting at 11 a.m. and is a special offer. During the event only, PCF Group will cover the sales tax on grills, appliances, furniture, hot tubs, and more. Plus, meet industry designers and innovators, as well as celebrity guests, including, well, yours truly from 3 to 5 p.m., along with current NFL player Brady Russell and NFL alumni president Randall Morris. The new PCF Group Design Center is designed to be an immersive experience for customers, showcasing just how outdoor spaces elevate home living, relaxation, and entertainment. Food and beverages will be available, giveaways, and you'll have the chance to view their state-of-the-art virtual reality system. So come check out PCF Group's new exterior design premier gallery, grand opening this Friday starting at 11 a.m. For more details, visit PCFgroup.com or call 206-992-0364.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service, 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Are you finding it hard to stay cool in your home during hot weather? The issue is likely your window's poor quality and lack of heat deflecting technology. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and come with high-performance Sun Matrix glass, which can help keep the summer heat out. Combined with our leak armor installation, your comfort will be secured for a lifetime. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Oh, man, we were just doing so much draft prep before tomorrow. Huge thanks to Daniel Jeremiah, who just spent a good half hour with us getting ready for the big day. He thinks the Seahawks will trade out of the first round into the second round and try to put together as many picks in the second and third as they can. The word is that this is a draft about starters, right? Meat and potatoes, not necessarily stars. Are there enough of them at the positions you need, though, to be able to trade back into the second round?
We're going to have to discuss this. I'm going to guess a 9, probably throughout tomorrow, probably becomes some of the narrative because in premise, this is one of those things, it's like process results. Oh, the process was all right. Oh, I love the process. Oh, the process, as they say up in North. Oh, the process was so good for organization. The process was great. But then the results, when you look at it at the end, like, oh, man. I love that we have 5 second rounders, but those 5 linemen that we kind of all liked and everybody liked and there was some consensus of, they're all off the board. And now we're looking at a player that maybe many of us have never heard before, which can also happen.
Well, Joe Klatt seemed to think that it would be fine, that if you don't draft a lineman in the first round, that there's still going to be plenty available.
50, 52, 82, 92, 137, 172, and 175. So, like, I think you can go build foundationally in those picks as well. You know, so this, I guess the idea of like, man, this would be a total failure if they didn't build up the offensive line in the first round might not be the case as long as they do that in those roster building rounds with all the ammunition that they have.
2 things come to my mind, and I've seen this a lot in almost 20 years of college athletics. And it's why, you know, I do say, and Maura's right, I say stars kind of sarcastically and demeaningly because Chris Peterson did. Because this reminds me of a college. It's like, you know what? This is the guy we want. I don't care that he's a 3-star. We want the 3-star. But everybody and all the voice and all the media and all the narrative has been you have to take a 5-star. You have to have this kid. You've got to get the 5-star when the program knows they don't want the 5-star. They want the 3-star.
No, I think I'm fine with the 3-star and the player they want. It's just that, unfortunately, for the last 9 years, the players they've wanted have turned out to not work. So you got to get it right.
The benefit of the doubt is not there.
You just don't have that benefit of the doubt.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Tough one for the Mariners yesterday in Boston. They got beat up early. Bryce Miller he struggled, man. Not a good outing for him. Struck out only 4, walked 4, gave up 4, pitched only 4 2/3 innings, and afterwards blamed himself.
Frustrating one. I think it's another one of the days, like, I didn't feel like they beat me today. I think I beat myself. Anytime you know, 3 walks in the 5th inning, like, I'm trying to get deep into the game. I had a lot of traffic on the bases and wiggled out of a few of them, but at the end of the day, I'm walking too many guys, and that's what's setting up the damage. So
give him credit. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, and that's been the challenge, I think, with Luis as well. And that's, you know, we talk about Dan Wilson and all these moves he's had to make. Think of the number of machinations and iterations here. And maybe in some ways, honestly, I'll spin this positive. He's had to deal with all this. He's had to kind of climb through and over this crap in the first month with short outings, injuries, guys you weren't counting on, bullpen guys coming and going. You know, another kid yesterday makes his first career out. Like, he's had a lot of pieces and levers to pull. Some of them have been questionable. Some of them you wonder, like, why are you going to Pizzardo there? Why are you making that move there? Why not? Right? Some of them have been questionable. But it's not been an easy path. This has not been, here's 6 innings. Here's how we lay it out. It's been,
3 big injuries to start the season.
That too.
Of players that you were counting on. The offense doesn't do much yesterday. Home run for Polanco. Big 2-run single for JP. That was it. But they keep losing the first game of series and then winning the series. So to do that, you got to win today and tomorrow. You got Emerson Hancock on the hill against the lefty Sean Newcomb. Brian Wu against the big lefty Garrett Crochet tomorrow.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
The whole Kraken thing has been kind of a mess, but yesterday they did make it official that Ron Francis will be the president of hockey operations. He'll focus more on the links between ownership and senior executive group. You know, he's going to work, it sounds like some special projects, almost like a special assistant. He also explained why Dan Bilesma was let go.
You know, it would have been easy, as Todd said, just to leave things and go forward. I just
when we're watching the games, I didn't like the way we were playing. I thought our team could use more structure, more details in our approach.
I tend to agree with that, but it's hard for me to hear.
Mr. Forsland did too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, but also I also thought we needed such a big change that I'm moving myself out of the daily decision making.
Is there
this whole thing feels a little funky?
Is there some parallel with what the Mariners did with Jerry moving in kind of a presidential role?
It doesn't feel that way.
And Justin really getting a lot of the keys, and it's still. Hey man, we're going to work through this, talk through this. We're all going to be on the same page.
No, because Jerry specifically has final say.
All right.
And he's saying that final say goes to Jason Botterill.
And what do we know about him?
That he has been the assistant GM here and struggled when he had the GM job in Buffalo, but so has everybody else.
Okay.
That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, we'll take a quick break. We're going to come back here because Brock's got the best of the rest. He gave us a lot of draft profiles this year of guys that are really good options that he's seen for the Seahawks, but I threw a whole bunch more like, hey, man, we got to hear a little bit more.
Yeah.
So a quick rundown on the best of the rest next on Brock and Salk.
The Cal Raleigh Show.
Belted way out of here to right field. Holy smokes.
Every Thursday with Shannon Dreyer on Wyman and Bob.
Seattle has been nothing but good to me. I would love nothing more to play for one team my whole career.
Listen live on the Seattle Sports app or find the video on YouTube.
Cal Raleigh with a walk-off home run.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
47,000 fans are going crazy.
Hey, have you been with the same insurance agent carrier for so long, maybe like my parents were, like we were for decades, and just wondering, man, are we getting the best rates? Just assuming too many things. What do we have covered? Are we getting the best rates? Well, I am glad we took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Molly and I heard so many of these First Mark Challenge victories that save people so much money. We finally decided to do it. Many of our friends and family have made the same choice, and I know we are all glad that we did. Why? Because here's how First Mark goes to work for you. They fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. And then, well, unlike you and me, they go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they've worked with to find you the best fit. That's it. No stress, no confusion. Think of it this way, as we're talking about player acquisition and everything else. First Mark's your teammate, and they're a first rounder. They spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage a complicated world of insurance, so please don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge, and did I mention it's totally free? You might be the next First Mark Challenge victory I get to talk to. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com, firstmarkinsurance.com, your teammate that goes to work for you.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office, and I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way and Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Baseball's back. It's time your yard stepped up to the plate. Synthetic Turf Northwest is Seattle's go-to for pro-quality turf. Perfect for backyard batting cages, putting greens, or just a mud-free play zone for the whole family. We install the best, we supply the best. And we're local-based in Woodinville with a new Fife location coming soon next to Sportco. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com, where the grass is always greener.
Michael Bumpus here, and golfers, how does a golf handicap level up your game? First, it levels the playing field so you can compete with golfers of any skill level. 2, shooting par isn't realistic for many of us, so a handicap can set achievable goals on your actual skill level. Lastly, tracking your progress helps you set goals towards improvement like I have. You can get a handicap index in 3 easy steps. Sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and after 3 18-hole rounds, you got it. To learn more, visit wagolf.org/710.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we're going to get right into this, Brock, as we are running out of time before the draft tomorrow. Loved all the draft profiles this year, but we didn't get to everybody. We couldn't. And as we know, the Seahawks tend to go off the board with picks that we're not necessarily expecting. So today, we need the best of the rest.
The Seattle Seahawks select.
This is Brock Heward's draft profile.
You want traits? Check. You want to vote the leader? Check.
At the end of the day, you have to say, okay, what's best for the organization? Can you make people around you better, and can you bring people together?
Every day leading up to the draft.
All right, rapid fire, buddy.
Ooh, there's a lot of receivers, so honestly, there are a lot of receivers. You and I, same page. I like that hardware store, not the toy store. I need Ace. I don't need Toys R Us. So give me some substance. And receivers have been way down on the list, other than Jalon Walker, who I had profiled earlier, who I still love. And let me just read this from somebody in the Iowa State locker room that I got this from yesterday on Jalon. Tell me that this is not a Seattle Seahawk. Great player to have in the locker room, always leading and speaking to everybody in the room. He's going to bring the energy every single day on and off the field. Such a smart player. Knows what he's doing every play. Knows what everybody else is doing. Unbelievable speed and quickness to get out of routes without any waste of movement. Hands are good. Even though he's a smaller player, goes up and just gets it. Scrappy guy who simply wants to win. Is that not a Mike McDonald
Sure
receiver?
sounds like it.
Oh my gosh. So I know I've talked about him in the past. I'll be real curious. And maybe Bump has talked about Kyle Williams. He's going to be a Coug receiver drafted really high. I saw Chris Sims saying Kyle Williams like ahead of Tetaroa McMillan.
Maybe he likes football more.
Oh, he loves football.
Well, there you go. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he likes watching film.
When you grind at UNLV for 3 years, as he did, and then you go over to the Palouse and you put up a 1,000-yard season, almost 30 touchdowns in his years in college. Kyle Williams, we've not talked about at all. Could he be a third? If he's sitting there in the third round, could he be a fit for Seattle?
What does he do best?
He's an absolute baller. Hands are a little questionable. Everything else, routes, power, playmaking,
like what we've seen
speed,
here the last few years.
Kind of. You feel like maybe that's a little work in progress. Another name is, and I know Hawk Blogger loves this guy, is Jack Besh out of TCU. Also reached out to Sonny Dykes, his head coach, yesterday. And this is where, like, if I did Daniel's job, this would be a real weakness of mine. I don't know if I could cut through the spin well enough. I think I would need you. I think I need to do it on speakerphone and just read your body language and your face, and you'd be like, not buying that.
Yeah, that's not real. Yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, Jack Besh, 6'1", 215 pounds. If you remember his story, he started at LSU as kind of an H-back tight end, super productive, was like, no, I want to be a receiver. So he goes to TCU, and this year just kind of blew up, over 1,000 yards, was a better receiver than Savion. I think I still kind of like Savion Williams. So there's a couple names. Kyle Williams we've not mentioned. Jack Besh.
Okay.
Maybe more of a slot guy. Maybe the next Cooper Kupp, right? Kind of diminished because he's like, well, what is he? Is he fast enough? Is it?
Can you make sure you get to one of the two guys the Seahawks are going to draft in the first round?
You think they're going to take
the
a
two
safety?
safeties? Yeah.
Okay. So Nick Emenwari from South Carolina. 6'3", 220. You know what he ran? 4.38. You know what his first 10 were? 1.49. I told you, big boy Tyler Booker ran 1.96, half a second faster in the first 10 yards. I mean, that's just off the charts. 41-inch vertical. I mean, just super, super freaky, right? So I went back and looked at Cam Chancellor. How would that compare to Cam Chancellor?
Better.
Yeah. I mean, Cam was a fifth rounder because Cam, same height, 6'3". Cam was 10 pounds heavier, 230. Cam ran 4.62. Right? He jumped 32. This kid jumped 43. Cam jumped 9'8". This kid jumped 11'6" in the broad jump, almost 12 feet broad jump. Like, the twitch is off the charts. But reading DJ, and DJ had him as his 15th best player. I mean, way up there. But he's got to be around the ball. And I don't know in this split safety system if you're going to get, if he could play in Pete's old post system and be Cam Chancellor around line scrimmage, you take him at 18. I don't see that happen. I really don't. Because of this system and Mike McDonald clearly saying to John, we're not doing that. We're not taking that safety. We're not taking the kid out of Georgia. You mentioned Malachi Stark's not doing it. Because in Julian, and not only do you have people here, I think just the way they play, you're not asking them to be Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. That system, you needed Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. I think we've seen with Kobe Bryant and Julian Love, who are both 4'6" guys and played a really high level. I don't need that. I don't need those kind of traits. So I'd be surprised there. You wanted me to ask about Derek Harmon.
Well, just because he's come up a lot, especially in the second round as a defensive tackle.
Well, my Oregon source said there is no chance in the world, no, nay, never. He's not a first rounder. He's going in the first round. So I wouldn't take him, I don't think, in the first round, because you know what I get very fearful of, Salk? I get very fearful of guys that for 3 years at one place put up 3.5 sacks in 3 years.
He's a defensive. Oh, total?
Total.
No.
Yeah, in 3 years.
Sorry.
Like, it was largely a nothing burger in East Lansing. And then he goes to Oregon, surrounded by second rounder, third rounder, second rounder, great talent, great players, get way ahead, get to rush, get to do these things, and turns it on with a 1 year wonder. That kind of worries me a little bit. Now, super twitchy, 6'4", 320, ran 4.95. Like, he's gonna be a first rounder. I just don't know if there's enough consistent production for me or those Seattle Seahawks.
So if you were to take a defensive tackle, you would go with?
I think I'd go Kenneth Grant.
Over him.
And Kenneth might be in those 20s. Yeah, might be in those 20s. Okay, let me give you a name that I have never mentioned. I wanted to do this, and I'm glad that DJ mentioned linebacker. Carson Schlesinger, Southern California kid, UCLA. Walk-on at UCLA. I think he was Thousand Oaks High School. It's at least where he did his private workout. So reached out to a few people in the NFL, maybe another linebacker coach, and heard the same thing from everybody, and that is this dude is instinctive. I mean, instinctive. 6'2", 240. He was third in the country, Salk, in total tackles this year, 136. He led the FBS in 90 total tackles. Remember watching him play, UW the last couple of years. I'm like, that guy is just on the ball. He's all over the ball. He's all about the ball. And really, it's Jihad Campbell, who DJ had it going 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's this guy somewhere. DJ had him as his 40th best player. 40th best.
Wow.
But because there is such a cliff and such a massive drop-off for schemes like Mike McDonald's that want inside linebackers that are instinctive, that know ball, that are difference makers, that have to fit, have to communicate, that is a name that I'm going to keep
value
a little.
in the third round.
Oh, he won't last the third round.
Really?
You'd have to take him if he's somewhere at 50 or 52, or maybe come up a few picks. It would be really hard.
It'd be hard to do.
See, I don't think Mike McDonald looks at safeties and beats the drum and stands on the table. I think Mike McDonald looks at inside linebackers and says, I need that guy.
It's funny because when he first was coming here, that was, hey, look what he's done with safeties.
Yep.
Right? Deion Jones, right? Or whatever the guy's name was
Gus,
in Baltimore.
There was a Gus that couldn't run a lick either, and he got paid elsewhere and had like 8 picks with Baltimore. Yeah. Well, look what he did with Kobe and Julie.
I know.
Yes.
So maybe he just doesn't need the like he could.
Gus Stone.
Geno Stone.
Geno Stone.
Gus.
Kyle
Geno,
Hamilton. Yeah.
Stone Forsythe. Yeah.
Don't forget about Stone. I'm just not going to forget about Stone Forsythe.
I never will.
All right.
Silky.
Is that it?
Is there a guy named Stone in this draft? Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, I'll tell. Well, we'll do this on Friday.
We'll get him late in the draft though, because he's sinking like a.
So on Friday morning, remind me. I got about 6 or 7 more guys. I got a couple more linebackers, linemen, an edge rusher, kind of into that 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
All
so
right.
yeah.
I love this tweet from Ray Roberts, man. He was responding to Corbin Smith saying that, you don't want to reach for a lineman at 18. Don't force it. And Ray writes, why when referring to the offensive line is it always stretch, reach, force, overdrafted, overpaid? That's why the offensive line struggles here. Consistently undervalued by all involved, but everyone then wants to complain. Same old approach, same old results, same old complaining. Ray, I got you back, brother. Coming up next, DJ continues to put us in the spin cycle, Brock. Just when you're like, yeah, that's a great idea, you should trade down, he hands it to you and then rips it away. This is like Tantalus and Sisyphus. This is terrible. It's next on Brock and Salk.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
John, since we talked to you last week, there's a new backup quarterback in town.
Yeah.
Drew Lock.
I think it's a great situation. We have 4 guys that we really like. It doesn't preclude us from doing anything in the draft either, and figuring out what's going on there. It's really like, let's get this in the mix. Drew had other opportunities, so we figured we better kind of put a bow on it.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Are insurance companies taking you for a ride? Literally? Don't let them destroy your financial future. If you've been in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is your weapon against greedy insurers. They don't care about you, but Just Cause Legal does. Time is running out. Get the compensation you deserve. Call 253-859-8899 now or visit justcauselegal.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Take back control and fight for what's yours. Meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Washington is leading the way in car theft reduction. Car thefts dropped by 32% from 2023 to 2024 in our state, but there's still work to be done. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
The Oki Golf Platinum Players Card is the perfect gift for your favorite golfer to welcome back spring. With 7 prepaid rounds at any public Oki golf course location, including the Golf Club at Newcastle and Washington National Golf Club, along with 7 50% off guest passes and unlimited discount fees, the Players Card is the best value in golf. And now through April 30th, Oki Golf is offering 1 free bonus round with purchase of the Platinum Players Card. Visit okigolf.com today to secure one for you and your golfing loved one this April.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
As we sit here just one day before the start of the NFL draft, I've tried, Brock, to be as clear as I can about what I would like the Seahawks to do so that, everything is out there. I want to be, held responsible later, right?
Have an opinion.
Have an opinion. Trying to stick with it. And I feel like I kind of got there. I wrote about it this week. If you got a minute, seattlesports.com said pretty simply, if you have the opportunity to trade up for a legitimate upgrade on the edge, and really, Jalon Walker is the only guy that, according to DJ, and I'll trust DJ on this, fits that bill. Shamar Stewart doesn't fit that bill. The other kid from Georgia doesn't fit that, right? Like
your BC kid is just super productive, but not a great trade.
Like you've got guys. It's not a position where you can. I don't think you need 3rd and 4th round or even 2nd round edge guys. But if Jalon Walker's available and you can trade up a couple of spots to do it, that sounds worth it to me. If you've got to give up a late 3rd or a 4th round pick to get Jalon Walker at 14, I think you should do that.
Yep, you got an extra 3rd, right? That's Geno or DK. I think was it Geno's? Geno or DK? Which one was the 2nd or 3rd?
Geno was the 3rd.
Okay, so yeah, you trading that.
Is that worth it? Would you do that? Would you trade up 4 spots?
Yeah, I would do that for
and
14.
take Jalon Walker.
I would.
Now, if he doesn't get by 8 or whatever, okay, fine. So you move on. But that's like if the draft speaks to you.
Yep.
That's what I would like to do. And DJ says there's a possibility there.
I mean, the absolute latest I would wait is at pick 14.
if he got, because I feel like I've given you guys all my mock draft. The Falcons are a pass rush team,
and they're next. So if you want them, you got to get them before 14. Okay, fine.
Yep.
If not that, then I want them to take a defensive lineman, and Kenneth Grant really seems like the guy for me, Brock. And I keep thinking
the other one. Let me throw a little oddball.
Okay, please do.
Let me throw a little something into the mix here, and this may just again be leveraging and noise and everything else. But Peter Schrager and I think DJ and others have Mason Graham, who has just been locked in.
You're falling.
Yes.
Now, what if he falls, maybe not to 18,
what if he gets to 12 or 14?
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly have that conversation as well.
So the difference between those two is he is accomplished.
Right.
He is not necessarily body beautiful or traits overwhelming, but my gosh, are his instincts and his hands and his leverage and his playmaking and his production are just off the charts.
It would seem unlikely that both he and Jalon Walker would fall back to 14. That would strike me as surprising. If it happens, though, it means that a bunch of the offensive linemen have gone, right, and gives you that opportunity. Yeah, I think I would do that. Okay. I think I'd be willing to trade up for either of those two guys or take a Kenneth Grant. We did ask DJ, all right, what does it look like if Kenneth Grant and Byron Murphy pair together?
It would be fun. I mean, you've got DeVito
and Schwarzenegger, twins.
Exactly. They will definitely look a little different when they're walking out for warm-ups. But, what's interesting about him is I would say that Murphy, as the stouter, smaller guy, is extremely strong, whereas Grant, as a bigger guy, actually does have some upfield. Like, they both can do both things.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds like a way. That's how you build some dominance.
And remember, that's with Leonard and Jaron.
Right.
Two absolute studs, who were both, by the way, at the workout yesterday, which was nice to see. And Leonard running around and Jaron, that's adding to those two guys.
But as we know, sort of the big thing is the offensive line. And you can really only go in one of those other directions if you're going to commit to the offensive line in the second round. Well, DJ says he doesn't see the Seahawks drafting at all in the first round.
You don't have a first-round pick. But let me give you the two options. So I have the Giants coming up there. And so here's the two trade proposals, okay? These are point total-wise matchup with the chart. You guys tell me what you'd rather have, okay?
Okay.
Seahawks, they give up 18, and the first option is you get 34, you get 65, and you get 105 all this year, okay? 34, 65, 105. Or you can get 34 and next year's 2.
That's top of the second, top of the third, top of the fourth. I mean, that's premium in each of those rounds.
It's almost a first, second, and third, honestly.
Correct.
Right? It's such a high second, third, and fourth. It's real on the border almost. It's a lot of value.
It's a lot of value.
It's a lot of value.
And it sounds great.
It does.
I sound so smart.
It does.
I moved this board around. I'm Machiavellian. I knew this. I knew that I would get a second and a third for Gino and DK, and I have all these picks, and I'd have 5 picks in that super sweet spot with starter after starter after starter, and then you ask, well, at 34, can I get Donovan Jackson? No soup for you.
No.
At 34, can I get Josh Connerly? No soup for you. Grace Zape, no soup for you. No soup for you. No soup for you. No soup for you. Those 5-6 linemen that we've profiled and talked about and everybody has. Yeah, those guys that Ray Roberts said, hey, man, why are we just settling for a second? Why are we undervaluing?
All of them?
They're all gone?
I don't believe they'd all be gone. No way. By 34?
In this draft?
They are all gone?
Those 5 are all gone.
Well, here's what would be left.
Kenneth Grant's gone.
Okay, he's gone. Zabel?
Gone. I had Zabel going really early, by the way, when you start stacking up needs.
Donovan Jackson's
gone. Donovan Jackson's gone.
Jeez.
Tyler Booker gone.
Just one offensive lineman. You're like the offensive lineman that, you probably would do it with your, I don't know if you would do it at 34. I think you would be more likely to do the offensive line with your next pick. And that's where you start getting into, this is like, well, you know what? Savanaya from Arizona could be a pick at 34. It's a little bit earlier than I have him. I have him at 47 on my list. But you're looking at Savanaya, you're looking at Jared Wilson, you're looking at Miles Frazier, Tate Ratledge, like all those groups of guys. I think all those guys are going to go in that range.
What do you make of that group? We've talked about that group.
We have. Savanaya's got some kind of Abe Lucas. Like you would see him at rookie camp and go, You're not supposed to do that.
I should have asked you to do Jared Wilson today as one of the best of the rest because he's been talked about a lot in the second round.
I'll dig into him today.
Okay. He's the center
chat
from
about him
Georgia.
tomorrow. He's the center from
And then
Georgia.
Tate Ratledge is the guard from Georgia,
He
right?
is the Rattler. Big mullet.
Yeah.
Fun-loving dude. Yeah, he's got some, like, juice and just some spunk. He kind of seems like a Schneider kind of guy.
So if you were to do all of that, what does that look like then to you? If you don't trade back up and you drafted 34 and then, 2 other times in the second and 3 other times in the third, what are you taking then at 34?
Well, I mean, it tells you then, like John's line the other day about I'm so stoked about this draft because we're just going to load up with great football players. Receiver, linebacker, D tackle, D end, running back. Like what do you want? You want the best of those guys, from 34 to 106 or 105 in this case, and have 7? If you were to make that move and trade down and add 34 and 65, so you'd go 34, 50, 52, all there in the second round. Just take the best dude there is. I mean, now make sure, again, hardware, make sure it isn't just settling, we'll wait till 52 to get the lineman. No.
Look, you got to get what you need.
That's right.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, man, Jalen Noel.
I got to tell you, trade back, Brock.
Yep.
You trade out of 18, your next pick has to be a lineman. I don't see how you, I understand if you want to take one of these defensive guys on the front of your defense, defensive tackle, defensive end, if you think there's a stud, if you think there's an upgrade, if you think there is hey guys, this is how we build dominance on defense, take them. Don't mess around, just take them. But if you do decide to trade back, I'm sorry. If they trade back and the first pick they make is not an offensive lineman, I'm going to be really mad. That seems like a terrible decision.
Because from 34 to 50, those 15 picks could be Jared Wilson. They could be Tate Ratledge. It could be
I'm sorry, you
a bunch of these guys. And then all of a sudden we're down to,
the need is too. And again, if you had decided to take care of that in the draft, in the free agency, you'd have the opportunity to do whatever you want. You could go in any direction, but you didn't. Okay, fine. I'm not going to harp on it, but no, I'm not. I won't harp on it.
Okay.
As long as you do it now, but you can't not do it then and not do it now.
I can't go from USDA Prime to USDA Choice.
Yeah, you can't do that.
To Piggly Wiggly.
Dude, this is chuck meat at that point. You just can't.
Can't do that. And no offense to Piggly Wiggly. I don't even know if Piggly Wigglies are still around. Was there a Piggly Wiggly up in the Northeast?
I never had that.
No? Yeah, it was an old restaurant or old store and chain. Yeah, because then you start, honestly, you just start going, okay, this one's got some parts I don't really love.
But at some point you start saying, well, this one's the same as that one, and this one's sort of the same. Now all of a sudden you're into the fourth round. You're like, well, they're all basically the same. No, there was a matter of degrees, and you blew it. And once again, your offensive line stinks. All right, coming up next, we'll give you guys everything you need to know, and then really excited at 9:30 to talk to Mario Bailey, former Husky, friend of Brock's, and a guy who's been hard at work on a really, really cool deal for football and the future of the sport. That's all coming up. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
All right, let's talk weight loss and Eastside Weight Loss Clinic specifically. This program is not that hard. It's not that hard. I know losing weight sounds really hard, and it does take a certain level of discipline, but I'll tell you what, a lot of the things that you think are going to be hardest about this plan really aren't that hard. You're not that hungry. You will eat food that tastes delicious. There's awesome recipes. There's no fake meals. It's all real stuff that you buy at the grocery store, and then they show you how to make it. And there's no pills, no drugs, no injections, none of that stuff. And oh, yes, the weight comes off really, really fast. You'll lose 10 pounds the first week. I ended up losing 35 in total in just 8 weeks. Maintenance plan worked great, but at some point here, decided I wanted to jump back on it. No problem. Lose like 19 pounds in 3 weeks. It just is really easy to do. And Ryan Roland Smith's been doing it. He's lost 30 pounds. We know other people here in the building who've done it, listeners, advertisers. It just starts with a 15-minute phone call, and that's with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com and just schedule the phone call. See if it's right for you at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Get up to $5,000 in local utility rebates, and Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Plus, Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Discover LeMay, America's car museum in Tacoma. Explore 300 world-class cars, 100 years of history, and a Shinka exhibit with 50 iconic Japanese sports cars. Thrilling race simulators and fun for the whole family. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
When buying a battery, most people don't know one brand from another. And brands don't start things, watts do. And who remembers that volts times amps equals watts anyway? At Pacific Power Batteries, you're buying a battery from someone who you can trust. Lately, we've been working hard on our product knowledge so that you don't have to remember all that you may have forgotten about Ohm's Law. Studying vendors' strong points helps us find a battery that's right for you. And at Pacific Power Batteries, that's not artificial intelligence, that's useful information.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
The noon hour of the Bump and Stacy Show is powered every day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Bull riding, the perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome, Saturday, April 26th and Sunday, April 27th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible. But how do you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Well, that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. They've already given back over $750,000 to their customers. Mark, GM of Wayscar Ford, joins me, and it's such a great offer. But to clear up any confusion, is this like a consignment, and how can you offer this?
It's not a consignment, Stacy. A consignment, the dealer that's trying to sell your car hasn't paid you yet. We pay you right up front. No more insurance, no more maintenance. All that's gone. After that's done, we pay half the profit. It's that simple. There's no magic to this. All the money we're saving by not buying at auctions, the shipping fees and the travel, we're giving it back to you. That's how it works.
So get the most money possible at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Brock, we are very, very, very close to the draft. It's tomorrow.
Barry Darrison.
It's a very, Barry Darrison, how close we are to this draft. What do you want? I feel like I've been very clear, very direct. You have not. Are you waiting for tomorrow? What do you want the Seahawks to do? Why do you keep obfuscating?
I would love a home run for me.
Yeah, what do you want them to do?
Is to go from 18 to 22, 23 and get a premium offensive lineman.
Okay.
Get one of these guys who I think are USDA prime. I don't know. If it's Booker. I mean, ideally, I profiled Gray Zabel yesterday.
Exactly.
I previewed Gray Zabel as my number one guy yesterday.
So you're staying with it
reason.
because earlier you said they have to get Kelvin Banks.
DJ, and there was a mock today that had Gray Zabel at 12.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominated the Senior Bowl.
I would love to go from 18 to 22 and still get Gray Zabel. I don't know if you can do that.
Okay.
We'll see.
That would be your
that would be a
ideal
home
scenario.
run. That'd be a home run.
So you
and
pick
then
up
add
like a
another
fourth
third round
rounder.
pick. Yep. That would be a home run. Tyler Booker, one of these just USDA prime guys. I don't have to go, well, he's not this and he's not that and he's a little sloppy and he's a little stiff and he's a little. No, I want dudes that have been there and done it. And every one of these linemen, the 5 of them, the final guys, I profiled Jackson, Banks, Zabel, Booker. Give me any of them.
Give you any of
and
them.
Connerly probably the 5th of those 5.
All right. Well, we did speak with Joel Klatt. He has them taking a tight end still. How would you feel if they went tight end, which he referred to as O-line adjacent?
The other challenge is he's not O-line adjacent.
Right.
He's space maker. He's playmaker.
I don't want that.
He's also got a shoulder.
That's the Michigan guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Justin Loveland.
Yeah, I'm out on that. That doesn't sound right. Now, okay, we asked him. Kelvin Banks, Gray Zabel, or Tyler Booker?
Of those 3, I think it's Banks. I would go Banks, and the reason is because I think that this guy is a game from being the top tackle in the draft. I think if you look at his career in totality, I personally think he's a great tackle. And Georgia got after him. And that film, I believe, is the issue with where he is falling / kind of being slotted right now amongst the offensive tackles. And I don't think it was all his fault.
He's going to go. These tackles are going to go. I've got feelings, lots of feelings. Nothing more
Before
than
18?
feeling. Oh, yeah.
So Kelvin Banks is going to be gone.
Yep. They're going to be it's just what happens.
Donovan
in this
Jackson
league.
will be there?
Quarterbacks and big people. Big difference maker. Oh, Donovan Jackson will be there. He'd probably be there in the late 20s.
Okay.
So maybe he's a guy that you go back to. But as DJ said, I think the teams calling John are those teams looking at it and going at 18.
How about this text? Would you draft Kenneth Grant at 18 and then trade your 2 second-round picks to get back into the first round and draft your offensive lineman and finish your first 2 rounds with Kenneth Grant and one of those studs offensive linemen?
And I got to wait till the 3rd to get a receiver or some of the other.
But you've gotten a dude on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
I don't hate that.
I don't either.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
No.
I mean, that's essentially having a first and second round pick, but they're both in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They're both dudes up front. Yeah, I could get on board with that.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mariners got to get back to it today for the 3rd straight time here, losing the opening game of the series. No reason to panic, though. They've won each of the next 2 games, both of the last 2 series, and it started off okay yesterday. Polanco went deep early.
The windup and the 1-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball deep to right field. Abreu to the warning track, to the wall, and goodbye baseball. It soars right over the top of the Mariners bullpen. And Jorge Polanco back in the lineup. A home run here in the top of the 1st inning.
He's been unbelievable. Probably won't be in the lineup today or tomorrow, though, as they're facing lefties in both of those outings. Bryce Miller, not his best yesterday.
Yeah, just, I said this a week and a half ago. Some little grasshoppers texting me when he started out with 8 strikeouts. And are you still worried about Bryce? Worried is not the word. There is a watch. There is a watch on both him and Luis Castillo in this start of this season. And it's not 1 start or 2 or 3. It's, 5 starts here for Bryce. And it's, that command has not been what it's been.
My worry was, are you worried about his health?
That's right.
You're still worried about the health?
Well, I just don't know why command falls off the ledge this much. Unless it's like, I'm not fully trusting myself with this.
I mean, command is usually shoulder.
Yeah. So, there's been no indications really, right? Other than, did he have a little soggy arm? Did we hear a little? No, we didn't hear that with him?
No.
Okay.
I He had that one day where he said he wasn't feeling his best.
And he's not bouncing back as quick because he's put quite a load on his body the last 12 months. Yep. So you get that and understand that. But yeah, 4 walks yesterday.
It doesn't look that way to me. It just looked like he's having trouble spotting where he needs to. And hopefully he gets that taken care of because they need him to. Today you will have Emerson Hancock making his third start against, as I said, the lefty Sean Newcomb. And then tomorrow, early getaway day, 9:30, we'll be off the air for a 10:30 first pitch. Brian Wu, Garrett Crochet.
Tomorrow. Stone, Forsyth, how does Hancock stuff play in Fenway, you think?
I hope it fares well. But this is the same team that has a 7.40 ERA in the last 10 years at Fenway Park.
That's remarkable.
Like that's the lowest margin in baseball by far in the 10 years at Fenway.
So over the last 10 years, in which time they've not won a series there in Boston, their team ERA is what, Mariners?
7.40.
That's really remarkable. That's really bad.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Kraken made their front office moves official yesterday, a day after firing their head coach Dan Bilesma. Ron Francis is indeed being promoted to be the president of hockey operations. I don't understand this. I really don't. And even after hearing the explanation, I'm kind of with Greg Wyshynski.
And talking to some people this morning about the Seattle move, I'm in agreement with the prevailing sentiment, which is, if you're not happy with the direction of the franchise, then why are you handing the reins to somebody while keeping the person who directed the franchise above him? And that's really the conundrum right now, you know.
Well, and even more than that, staying with somebody who's already in the franchise now. We've heard rumors of a split inside. Maybe that split is between Botterill, the new GM, and Ron Francis. Maybe that's why Francis is saying that, you know, Botterill's going to have the final say. He's saying that's his decision, but it doesn't sound that way. If he's voluntarily handing over final say, then he still has final say.
I feel strongly that if we're asking Jason to step into the GM chair and manage all those responsibilities, that he has to have final say in decisions. We will have discussions. I will give him my opinion. I know it won't be 100% in agreement all the time, but we will have those discussions. But at the end of the day, he will make the decision, the final call in those regards. You know, there's so much to do with the job, from players and agents and managing your staff and stuff. And this will free me up in some regards to do other specialized things where I can work closely with our young prospects.
Bizarre. Okay, question for you.
Just bizarre.
Dumb question for you. We know these leagues, all of them, NFL especially, we're seeing in baseball, all want to get younger. Is it just possible that job for Ron Francis at this age and stage of his career is just too much?
Maybe it's also sort of who Ron Francis has been throughout his whole career. He's not really had a lot of success as a GM. Tremendous player, Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. Has not had a lot of success as a GM.
One of your wife's favorites, huh?
Oh, she loves him. That is everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, there's a debate.
You have to say it like that?
Yeah, well, who's... Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay,
You kind of do. Yeah, it's Ron Francis. I've said this before. Like, they loved him so much as a Whaler that when the Whalers left to go to Carolina, he went to Pittsburgh, and Heather's whole family became Penguins fans just because of Ron Francis.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, that was the level of love for Ron the player. He's a really great player.
Do you know who Billy Joe Hobart, not Bill Hobart, not Billy. Yeah. Do you know who Billy Joe Hobart loved throwing the ball to? He loved looking out there at the flanker position, running around. You know who he loved?
Who was that?
Mario Bailey.
Oh,
yeah. Billy Joe loved Mario Bailey. You know what I love? Sitting in the Rose Bowl in
college,
1991.
not in high school, right?
Yeah, in college. In 1991, I love when Mario gave Desmond and Michigan the Heisman Trophy. That's what I love.
Well, I love what he's done here just in the last couple of weeks. They have worked really hard and had a phenomenal result. You guys will hear a little bit more about it next on Brock and Salk.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs at Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who's a player the Seahawks should absolutely look at if he's available at 18?
I don't think he's going to be there, but I'm looking at linebacker Jalon Walker. He can rush off the edge, he plays in the middle, and he plays with that type of energy that Ernest Jones gives me. And you need depth at that linebacker spot. So if Jalon Walker's available, I don't think he's going to be available, but I've seen some mocks where he is. You got to take a look.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
All right, let's talk about Crawl Pros. This is a good time of year to do it. We've had some really good weather, which has been nice, but it still gets freezing cold at night. So if you're noticing that your house gets really cold this time of year at night or super hot when it gets sunny out, it might be because you don't have enough insulation. You might not have any insulation. Well, guess what? This is awesome news because right now utility companies have these special incentives to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated. So that could mean if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990 that you would qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. That is huge. So don't wait. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on back behind that crawl space or attic hatch for free. And then also what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you are worried about water damage, mold, insulation, critters, anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com to schedule that free inspection. That's crawlpros.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
4 down territory. Going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
My teacher is the best because she gives us pajama day.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, sponsored by WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When you partner with CDW, your people get more out of technology. CDW data experts are simplifying complex workloads with high-speed AMD processors, which helps your project managers efficiently manage heavier workflows. game designers level up creativity, and scientists develop their next breakthrough. Amazing, right? Make amazing happen. AMD and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/AMD.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I'm really excited about this news that came out, Brock. I know you were telling me, you were the first person to tell me about this a little over a year ago when the Seahawks were fighting to try to get flag football as a sanctioned high school girls sport here in Washington. And remember, it didn't go through. And there were a lot of really dumb reasons why, and we were pretty upset about it. Well, fast forward a year, and it's now a done deal. This is great. Women or girls flag, I guess for high school it's girls. Girls flag football has been sanctioned as an official sport here in Washington. This has been a big deal around the NFL, big deal for the Seahawks. And I know Mario Bailey, friend of yours, has been working hard on this. He's kind enough to take a few minutes with us. Mario, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you guys doing? Appreciate you for having me.
You want a quick confession? I've never, ever shared this in my life, Mario. Do you want a quick confession? First preseason NFL game of my life, Kingdom, before it imploded. Kingdom, 1999. Brock Ewart comes into the game into the third or fourth quarter. Mario Bailey's in the huddle with me. I get some call in my headset. I have no idea what the play is. I just try to call it appropriately, double right, two jet, I don't know, X dagger. And I just know where Mario is. And Mario ran the post, the clear out. He's not even in the read. And I think I threw it to him. Might have drawn a PI. Come over to the sidelines, and Shep and Holmgren are like Mike Shepard, QB coach. Like, why did he throw the post? I was, yeah.
Made something up.
And it totally made it up. It was only because I needed to throw the ball to Mario Bailey. How about that, Mario? Never, ever told that story, but that is the doggone honest truth.
Well, I appreciate it because I wasn't going to get the ball other than that, so thank you, Brock.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Well, it's usually because Brock was flat in his back because he hadn't accounted for one of the linebackers.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue to getting the ball. How did this
in the Kingdom?
Yep.
Too.
How did this happen, Mario? How did the girls in the state of Washington get the ball and get their chance to play flag football as a sanctioned sport? How did it go down?
I just think it was just a matter of time. You know, it's an Olympic sport in LA in 2028. We've had 14 other states that have sanctioned it, and probably a couple more on the horizon here in the next few months. We do a lot. We have over 100 schools that are actually playing. We have what we call, for the Seahawks, it's called Girls Flag Takeover. It's similar to our Blue Friday Night Lights with tackle football, except it's girls flag football during the season. The parents come out. The girls are competing. Very active. If you've seen it, we had our girls flag takeover. There was more people in the stands than there were for some of the high school football games for the guys. So I think it was just a matter of time, and Washington was the 15th state to be sanctioned. I'm happy for these young ladies and the opportunity to now crown an actual state champ, maybe get a scholarship to go in college, but it was just the right time.
Winter sport?
Winter sport on the west side of the mountains, I guess, and it might be a spring sport for the teams on the eastern side, and the championships will be in the spring.
Mario, why was this?
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, just weather-wise, it makes sense. Fields and weather and all that.
Why has this been so important to the NFL and to the Seahawks, you think, Mario?
I just think it's one of those things where it's opportunity for young ladies. And if you have it as an Olympic sport, I think you should definitely have it as a high school sport in all states. And it gives the young ladies another opportunity. Like we did the survey, and it says 50% of the young ladies that are playing girls flag football were not playing in a sport before. And now there's over 60 colleges offering scholarships. Like, it's another opportunity for young ladies. And I tell people all the time, if you look at girls basketball and college basketball with Juju and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese last year, it's taken over. Like, I was more invested in college basketball for the ladies than I was for the men. And that's what girls flag football is about to do. You're going to see a lot of stars emerge, and you're going to see a lot of great competition. These young ladies get after it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a chance to experience this now. I've got two daughters, 13 and 10, and Caitlin Clark has completely changed the way, certainly my 10-year-old views sports. She's obsessed and wanted to play basketball strictly because of her. She's a hockey player. Somebody asked the other day, hey, who's the best U.S. hockey player of all time? And while I was going through Brett Hull and some people like that, she's like, Dad, it's either Amanda Kessel or it's, I was like, oh, of course. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, the world has changed, and this is a phenomenal example of it. How popular do you expect it to be right off the bat in Washington?
I think it's going to take over. Like I said, we do our Blue Friday Night Lights for football, for high school football. And the last time I went to a girls' flag takeover down at Memorial Stadium on a Saturday morning, it was packed. Everybody was in there, and the girls were going crazy, and it was very competitive. So it's just a matter of when you start marketing and you have a few stars that are taking over. Like, for the first year, we had our girls' flag player of the year. I think she went to Salk, and we had a coach of the year, and we're going to continue that. And I just think once you start putting stars in place and you watch the competition, then it's just going to be on fire.
Hey, any chance you could walk out of the office right now? I'm sure they're not busy in the war room. Any chance you could kind of walk down the hallway, Mario, and like no one's listening, right? Can you kind of peek your head in there and see what you see on the board? Anything jump out to you? Is that possible or not?
Man, that war room is under lock and chain. It's kind of hidden on the second floor, and they would know. Like, they're peeking to see who's coming in there that should not be. So I'm not going to risk it.
You have any? Do you ever sit in any of the meetings? Do they ever pick your brain? I mean, you were an unbelievable national champion at UW, an NFL player, and NFL Europe player, and all that. And you know what receivers are supposed to look like. You ever run into John in the cafeteria or the personnel department, draft guys, and talk about the receivers or any other positions?
Oh, I used to talk with him every single day, like giving my opinion and talking about guys that I've seen and who I thought was the best. I don't really work on the football side as much anymore, but when we see each other, I still tell him, hey, this is who I think should be a number one receiver on the board, and just to kind of see if I'm where they're at. So we've been pretty close. So I'm curious this year. I have a few ideas, but I'm gonna wait and see. It's a little different now, and I'm trying to get to Coach Mike's style and figure it out. But I look forward to it. It's been fun. It's fun seeing the guys in the building and ready to compete.
Well, this is a really cool deal. Just I want to say, Brock and I have been talking about this since it first came up last year, and I just love it. The representation thing really does matter, and as the father of two daughters, I think this is incredible. I'm excited to watch it more. I think it's phenomenal for the NFL and continuing to grow its game towards a population that, you know, has previously not had as many opportunities to play this sport. So I just love it, and kudos, congratulations to you for all your hard work, the Seahawks' hard work, the league's hard work. This is just an awesome thing. So thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. There's Mario Bailey. 360. Hillary Knight's the best hockey player ever. That's what Cecily said. That was literally her answer. Mauro, you've talked about representation before. It does matter. It really does. I was we're just talking. I know you're saying goodbye to Mario, but we're talking about the importance of representation. It matters. This is a little different from that. This is opportunity. But if you combine those two things, the representation and the opportunity, you see how quickly things change. I'm watching Cecily's team of girls just destroy all the boys that they play in hockey. Happens all the time.
Growing up, I loved both hockey and football, and there was no opportunity for me to play either of those sports. So, yeah, it's something I wouldn't have even thought of.
You know what's disappointing, too? Is Moore's got those hands. She could have played. I bet you she spins a football better than you, Salky.
I mean, I've seen more of her short-range quickness. I would say that even if flag football had been available, I don't know if that would have been your strength.
Hey.
I'm just saying. You're a long-distance runner, an animal killer, and I mean, look, you've got certain skills. I don't know whether flag football would have been number one on your list. Maybe it would have.
Well, jokes aside, I agree completely with you guys. Another thing that I think of is that just all the female refs that we're seeing in football now. Like, that's something that I think I would have been interested in football, but had no idea that was even something I could have tried.
Flag football's kind of cool, too. Have you seen it played?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I told you I went down and watched Joel's kid play in Arizona, and Avery's been playing it here. The rules are different. I mean, it's not exactly the same sport. You got to go, you got 4 downs to get halfway down the field, and then a punt is automatic, right? If you say, I punt, it just goes down to the other team's side. Or you can go for it on 4th down. And then you got another 4 downs if you get it to make it the rest of the way. You're not allowed to jump when you're carrying the ball to avoid or have people, you're not allowed to push people's hands away from your flag. Like, you've got to legitimately burn them with a move and with like your skills rather than just raw strength. Like, there's a bunch of really cool little ways that the game can change. I like it. I think it's pretty fun.
I would say 2 last things. One on Mario. Mario was an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
I know Husky fans that go back to the 80s and the 90s, and you look at like Husky great receivers through the years. And I loved Roma Dunze. He's on that very short list. I love Dante Pettis as a returner as well. Mario was one of those guys that wasn't big, Salk, but he was like Marvin. First time I saw Marvin Harrison, I'm like, how does this guy do this? But his catch radius is so unbelievable, plays so much bigger, and so neat that he's been a part of this with the Seahawks to get this done. Number 2, girls flag football in the NFL may have more in common than boys high school football, boys college, and everything else, because you've got to have a quarterback. Like, you have a quarterback, you've got a difference maker. Like, you know, and finding a gal that can really sling it. And I've seen some of them. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they can really throw it, and it makes a big difference.
Pretty cool. All right, well, huge thank you to Mario. Big thank you to the Seahawks for taking this as seriously as they have, and the NFL. I gotten on Roger Goodell, I don't know how many times, for the things that he does wrong, and I think there's a lot of them, but I would say he's done this right, and huge kudos to all of them. I think this is a really, really cool deal. All right.
You want to do some trash takes?
Yeah, don't we have to?
I mean, I got a trash take.
Do you? Do you guys have trash takes today?
I thought maybe.
Do you have an actual trash take from like a person who gives takes, or just like some like cadaver that you heard like, you know, mumble something on the way into the ground?
That Twitter troll last week had like thousands of followers.
If you say so. All right, we got a few minutes left in the show. Let's hear some trash takes.
Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
Trash takes.
It's a bunch of trash.
Oh, gosh.
I thought it was trash. On Brock and Salk.
That's a terrible take.
Hey, did you bring the hat?
I ordered the hat.
Okay, it's not here yet.
Any day.
I heard you made a little mistake in your Amazon ordering the other day.
Big fight with Molly and I.
What you did, Brock, this is kind of crazy what you did.
What did I do?
No, I don't. I mean, like, it's funny. It's not like, so you sent the wrong, like, you mixed up addresses.
No, I wanted it sent here.
Right.
So I went to Molly's Amazon account. I don't have an Amazon account, so I signed in.
Why not?
Because we need one. I don't.
But like, 2 people can be linked to one.
That's fine. So I sign in. I order the hat. Send it here. And all of a sudden, Kyle's like, "Oh, hey man, were you expecting an Amazon package?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was."
Right.
Yeah, it's actually this trash take hat.
Right.
But it's not supposed to come till like late this week or into next week. He's like, "Oh, you got a couple of them." I'm like, "Oh crap." So Molly goes to order stuff, and she's a little stressed last weekend with the whiting details and everything else. Oh, this created quite a nice fiasco. And she's like furious at me. And I'm like, "Why are you mad at me? Like, I just ordered it. Why didn't you look at the name and the address when you hit send?"
Well, this is on both
Because you usually have it set to your home address.
That's fine.
But
that's fine.
So if she didn't know you had been in there.
You need your own Amazon account.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
It's worked just
Yes,
fine.
you do.
Well, for 2 reasons.
It's worked just fine.
2 reasons. 1, this doesn't happen again. And 2, like, what about birthday gifts and stuff like that? Then you can use Amazon.
I don't order birthday gifts or Christmas on Amazon.
Ever?
Ever.
I think this is the trash take.
That's the trashiest take
should
you've
have
ever
your own
given.
Amazon account.
Ever. Brock, you should have your own Amazon
She
account.
is so mad at me.
You're a grown man.
She's like,
you're 49 years old. I think it's
Do
time.
you understand that the candle fragrances? Do you understand this thing's coming from China? And I'm like, when it arrives there, I'll have them ship it
Not
here.
anymore, it's not.
And why are you so mad? Like, this is on me. I'm not blaming you. Don't blame me. It was just a mistake. Oh, no. Oh, she wanted to hear me say, I really screwed up.
Okay.
And I didn't want to say I really screwed up.
You could have really solved this by not using your wife's Amazon account.
Whatever. We are
Don't
together.
whatever me.
We don't have separate banking accounts.
You don't need that. This is a different thing.
Because we're married.
But do you share the same credit card?
No.
Like physically the same card?
No.
I'm sure it goes to the same account.
Goes to the same account.
That's what this is.
Whatever.
This would be like just literally having separate
You want a
credit
trash
cards.
take? This is a trash take. This is from
You share
Tom.
the same email?
This is from Tom Pelissaro, who is quoting some scout. Tom's not the trash take. We love Tom. Great teeth, great hair. This is some scout. This is the stupidest thing, along with the Shedeur stuff, I may have ever heard.
The eye-opening thing that several, not one, several coaches and scouts told me as I was making calls about all these quarterbacks is Jalen Milroe is the greatest runner of the football they've ever evaluated at the quarterback position. Not Lamar Jackson. Jalen Milroe is the best runner that they've ever seen.
That's really stupid. They must have started like Lyle's life, started watching football in like 2020. Not Lyle, you've watched football your whole life, but culturally, that's so stupid. Michael Vick, way better runner. Is a runner? Lamar Jackson is a runner? Give me a break. Just different. Jalen's super talented. It is his plus trait. You don't run like Lamar. Shut your mouth.
I think you rubbed up. Brock got here and was like, I want things to be positive today. Salk, are you okay? You're kind of negative. I think you brought him down.
No, I feel great. Just this segment. That Amazon thing's ticking me off.
Well, because you know I'm right. It's really bizarre. Amazon literally comes with 2 accounts, so you don't mix things up with your spouse.
Amazon's really easy. You could just look at the address
I
when
know,
you've got
but
a
you
bunch of
don't need
default
to.
addresses.
Hold on. Now, hold on.
Molly's got a lot of
Wait a
different
second.
addresses on there.
If you click buy it now, then you don't even get shown an address.
What?
Yeah. If you click buy it now rather than going into the cart and all that, you don't even get an address. It just gets shipped. It's made it simple for people that, don't need to change their address or have their spouse do it. All right, Milroe best ever. That's Brock.
Stupid.
I like that. Okay, Lyle, what do you got?
Aaron Judge has 7 home runs on the year. Off to an awesome start. He looks like he's going to win another MVP. Well, he should have 8, but he doesn't, thanks to one of the most ridiculous calls I've ever seen on a baseball field that happened this weekend when he hit a ball that had to have been fair by 5 feet to the right of the foul pole. Somehow, these umpires, I don't know what they're watching. I don't know what they get paid to watch, but they clearly weren't watching the baseball game because this happened.
Look at there.
See, from that angle, it looks fair, right? Into the tree.
Oh, my God. I mean, most of those trees are in fair territory, too.
Was this at Sacramento?
I'm a
Community
big
College?
proponent. Top of the foul pole.
After review, call on the field stand. The foul ball.
Crazy.
I mean,
where was that at?
It was in Tampa.
Oh, in their Mickey Mouse Park.
Steinberg.
The other minor league park.
What do these umpires get paid to watch? There are a lot of things, for as much as I love baseball, that grind my gears about the sport of baseball. One of them is umpiring.
Well, Lyle, isn't this New York? Isn't this baseball headquarters? Isn't just the umpires on the field?
Correct. This is New York, and they screwed it up too. Wow. Everybody screwed it up.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy. I'm trying to watch it now as you're talking just to see how bad this really is.
There's like snapshot photos of it too that show it's.
How did they get around? How did they get around? Is there any excuse?
No. Their excuse was the foul poles at Steinbrenner Field are shorter than Major League Baseball foul poles.
So it went up too high?
But you can still see it on the replay and even in real time that it's not foul.
I'm watching it.
Don't play at minor league parks. How about that?
It's foul to me.
You gotta watch Snapshot.
It looked foul to me too.
Did it?
Both one angle looked fair, one looked foul. Calling the field stands, not that hard.
I can't even really see the ball.
It's a poor take, Lyle.
I'm just kind of following the.
Lyle, not your best. Maura, what you got?
No, that is a good take.
I just don't know how he thinks he's going to win with
No,
giving a home run back to a Yankee in Salk size.
He probably doesn't deserve it anyway.
Okay, mine is I guess I don't know if this is as much of a trash take as much of it is just like Mavericks GM Nico Harrison having like a trash month and a half. So I don't know if you've seen any of this. He keeps like just making everything worse since they traded Luka Doncic. But it also came out recently that there was this director of health and performance they fired last year named Casey Smith that was like a big Dirk Nowitzki guy. I guess Doncic said he helped him with his cultural transition. It came out that Harrison asked him to meet with him last year, and he said, I can't because he was with his dying his mother on her deathbed, and Harrison arranged a video chat and fired him over Zoom.
Oh, my God. Like, hey, we got to get this
So they're
done.
like, this is probably where some of the divide with Luka Doncic started to happen because that was like a really well-liked guy that was his guy. Anyway,
You said Nowitzki. Did you mean Luka?
well, Nowitzki's still involved with the team, and now
okay.
Harrison has pushed him away too.
Sheesh.
He was still kind of hanging around and doing stuff.
This Nico guy's having issues.
But no,
huh?
that guy he fired, Casey Smith, went back to Dirk Nowitzki's time. Like he'd been with the team for a long time and was really well liked. Fired him over video while his mother was on her deathbed. Now
So your trash take is just Nico.
No. Well, so now
just
here,
Nico?
this is the actual take. Nico Harrison talking about how he didn't know quite how much the fans loved Luka till after all this.
Did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively, we feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to, go on and on.
Come on, that's not true. That's not it. That's AI.
Nope.
That's AI generated.
Nope.
Well,
He just keeps making it worse.
all right. So those are the three I have to choose from. Hopefully by next week I'll have my Trash Master hat.
You should.
Jalen Milroe, best to ever run the ball. Aaron Judge, home run. And then Nico, the GM of the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
Lyle, you lose.
Look at the screenshot.
I'm looking at the screenshot. It's a dumb call. But
it's a dumb call.
He's never gonna give a Yankee a home run back.
if Aaron Judge wasn't such an awful human being, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm going back and forth here. Brock.
Yep.
It's a terrible take. It really is.
Amazon?
No, the Jalen Milroe thing. Like, Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson, the two best running quarterbacks anyone's ever seen.
Superhuman.
That's how dumb. The fact that that's not going to win this week shows just how dumb that Nico take is. Yeah. That he didn't realize I know. I don't even watch the damn sport. Yeah. I wouldn't recognize Luka if he walked into this room. But I will tell you that at least I know he's one of the big studs in the NBA. And that's absurd. I didn't know how much people liked him. Come on. That can't be real. There's no way anyone lives in such an isolated, insulated vacuum. Mm-hmm. That can't be real. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that sounds AI generated. I don't believe it. So I'm going with Maura. Brock, you almost
won this one. Then someone asked
one.
him why he didn't deserve to be fired, and he was like, well, you look at all the injuries we had this year.
If they're asking you why you don't deserve to be fired, you deserve to be fired.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good rule for life.
Lyle, I promise you we will not film this. I won't allow Salk to film it. We'll just go out and play a little catch.
Don't do it.
I need to.
Don't do it.
We're in evaluation mode. Just kind of need to check this box.
Don't do it. I would do it if I were you.
We will.
Don't do it. Tomorrow's draft day. Tomorrow at 8:30, we'll open up the phones, as we do, and hear what you guys want to do, what you think is going to happen, your chance to be a hero. Brock, everyone can stick around for Bump and Stacy. We got Mariner baseball later today. See if they can get themselves at least into a position to win the series tomorrow. We'll be with you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And until then, the Hay
Barn.
See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who's a player the Seahawks should absolutely look at if he's available at 18?
I don't think he's going to be there, but I'm looking at linebacker Jalon Walker. He can rush off the edge, he plays in the middle, and he plays with that type of energy that Ernest Jones gives me. And you need depth at that linebacker spot. So if Jalen Walker's available, I don't think he's going to be available, but I've seen some mocks where he is. You got to take a look.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Right now, have beautiful, ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay $0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing.
We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com.